What's going on? Good evening, everybody. It is Friday, December 4th, 2020. I'm Brandon Toy, host of the Ranty with Brandon show, soon to be renamed once we can think of a good name. I've had some good suggestions. If you have a suggestion, let me know. Just hit me up in chat or pop it in the Discord, and I'll have to get that going pretty soon. Show number 40. 40 shows so far. Time is flying. We got some people in the chat. I see some people in the Discord, including Critical Think, which might have an interesting start to the show. I'm going to hurry up and get over there and see what's going on. Got SE Montreal. What's up, SE? Page 42. Flat for Life. Matrix Media. Champion the Underdog. And Nick, who was first tonight. What's going on, guys? Let me pop my little shill link in here. We'll get that up there. Got a lot of stuff for you tonight. Some bits that I found across the internet. Some interesting footage. Some NASA stuff to laugh at. And some stories about this current crisis we're in. Oh, I see Rob. Rob says, I'm in chat. I see ya. I'm going to head over there right now. So let me see what's going on in this Discord. I see some lights lighting up. Maybe there's something interesting going on. Nope. What's up, guys? How's it going? We're live.
What up? What up?
What up? I see we've got
Hello.
we've got a few people in here. Start off the show. We've got Critical Think. What's up, Critical Think?
G'day, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well.
Fantastic. Same to you. Jeremy.
How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Jimbo.
Hello, all are taken MSG free.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Rob is on mute. Ruhif. What's up, Ruhif? Real Bob Dole. Oh, there.
Hello. I'm not really here. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Hey, Bob. So, Critical Think, what brings you to our neck of the woods? This is a unusual visit. You have something that you'd like to discuss with us, or just popping in?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. So, it was my picture that people, I think they didn't really understand it all that well. And I thought it'd be best to try and explain it live rather than make another video, which nobody watches. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Where do I put this link to the picture?
In general. You're free to share it yourself too if you want on the Discord, if that's what you're going to talk about. But I'll bring it up if you'd like.
It's probably easier if you bring it up.
Okay.
I watched your video.
I don't know what I'm doing in Discord too much.
No problem. Okay, let me share my screen with the Discord, and then we'll be set to go. There we go. You're all set. The audience can see it now.
Okay. So I'll explain what I did here. So I've got my auto level, which I've calibrated to be as accurate as I can. This is sunrise. I know it looks like sunset, but it's actually a sunrise. And the fact that I've taken a level line from where I am, and the main point of this picture, there's other things about this picture, but the main point about this picture is that my level sight is over the top of the sun. And
Can I just interrupt for
is
1
not
second?
Not possible on a flat Earth.
Can I interrupt for 1 second, please?
Go ahead, Rob.
You're using a theodolite or an auto level?
It's an auto level.
Okay, do you know what the accuracy range on an auto level is and what it is used for?
Yes, I'm totally familiar with that. And the reason why, are you aware of the reason why they state a range?
Yes, because of atmospheric conditions.
and something else.
You are going to try and get me to say curve?
Yeah. Because of the curvature of the Earth.
Okay. So,
So
your
that's-
name is Critical Thick. Your name is Critical Thick. I want you to.
Well, I
critically
don't know what
think
that's got to do
about
with this.
the
I'm just
range. Listen. Let me finish. The range is important.
how is it
Are you
important in
are you-
relation
are-
to this? In relation to this observation, how is the range
what-
important?
What's your range? What is your range on this observation?
It's around about 36 kilometers to that island that you can see.
I rest my case.
Well, tell me what your case is. I don't know what the case. Why is there a problem with the range?
What is the accuracy range of the auto level that you are using? Please.
The accuracy is determined in angles rather than a range itself. The auto level is accurate.
Can you switch
Excuse
it?
me, may I finish, please?
Okay.
The
Yep,
accuracy,
sorry.
the accuracy is in relation to how much up or down. That's an angle. So if you can work out what your angular accuracy is, then it doesn't matter the range. It's out by a particular angle or not.
Can I jump in here? And can you, instead of showing me a picture, can you show me the manual that came with this auto level, please?
Why is that relevant?
It's very relevant because you're trying to shoot 36 kilometers away.
Yes,
And
but
I
I've
want you
already
to show me where it
explained.
says that's possible.
No, I've already
You're not
explained
critical
why.
thinking at all. Thank you.
I've already.
I'd also have to ask. Did you take measurements of the optical corridor, the temperature, humidity, pressure, all throughout your optical corridor to know exactly what's happening with refraction?
And why would I need to do that?
Because so you know what's happening with refraction.
I know what's happening with refraction. It's pretty much the
You don't have any
same.
measurements.
Excuse me. It's pretty much the same every day.
Your name is a lie.
It's fairly consistent every day. So you can tell me now, what if I were to put up a water level in the same situation, where would the water level point?
Where would the water level point? What do you mean by
Critical
that?
think.
It's kind of
The
a
water
strange
level
question.
doesn't point.
Well, yes, it does. If you have a tube with
No,
water
the water
in it,
level does not point.
and you line up the back level with the front level, you have a tube, like you see, and you line up the two levels of water. There's two levels. You can line them up in a straight line. That straight line points somewhere. So where does it point?
Yeah, I don't think that that's a very accurate way to do that. First of all, you can set that water level at whatever altitude. So you take the two sides. I can lower it to the ground. I can up the point of
Brandon, your mic.
what's wrong with it?
Oh, it sounded like
You
faded
phased out
out.
for a second.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
You can level your camera with wherever that equilibrium is based on the water level that you're using. So that's not a valid way to judge anything, really, in my opinion.
Also,
So
2 points are not a direction. You can't get a direction with 2 points. When he said direction, he's talking about like rectilinearly movements, right? 2 points don't have any magnitude movements. So
So
And I think there's a bigger problem with this. But go ahead.
2 points. If you draw a line through 2 points, that line goes somewhere. Correct?
to the 2 points.
No, you can extend that line.
Well,
Either
then
way,
it's not that line.
it's a straight line.
Well, but then it's not that line. You're creating a new line. And how are you going to use the standard? Are you just going to say that line extends horizontally for infinity?
I'm going to start again. If I have 2 points and I draw a straight line between them, right? That goes somewhere. That intersects those 2 points. Correct?
Okay, wait, hold on. Are you drawing the 2 points? Are you connecting them, or are you taking a horizontal line and drawing it so that it goes through those 2 points?
So if I were to have 2 points and I was to draw a line intersecting both those points. That is a straight line, correct?
Yes.
Right. Now, if both of those 2 points are level, right, because they got water in them, is that line then classified as level?
Level, I don't use that word. Okay, you said we have a straight line that connected the 2 points. What else do you need?
So if the 2 points are level, is that line level?
No, we're talking about straight and curve. We have a straight line. What more do you want to do? Why are you adding another word? It's a straight line.
What
line
about
the straight line?
So let's
Okay, so what straight line do you not understand that you need to say that it's level?
I don't understand that question. My question was, if I have 2 points and they're level and I draw a straight line through them, is that line level? Yes or no?
Two coplanar points.
You have you lost. Hang on, you lost me. You have 2 points. Okay, now you take a straight line that goes across those 2 points. Now, what about that? Don't you understand that you needed to add the word level?
I don't know what your point is. It's very
Okay,
simple. I
you
don't know why you're trying to complicate it.
You're introducing. Okay, hear me out. You're saying, are they level? We have 2 points. You take a straight line and you connect those 2 points with a straight line. Now, what about those 2 points and that straight line is not self-explanatory that it needs the introduction of a new word?
Right.
Because those 2 points, I never introduced the word level. First of all, I said 2 points. Any 2 points. Excuse me, may I finish, please? I introduced 2 points. I never introduced the word level. The 2 points could be pointing up and down for that matter. If you draw a line through 2 points, you got a line. Now, if those 2 points are level, then the line is level. That's how I introduced level. The 2 points suddenly assume a level position. So then the line would be level. Is that correct?
Can I answer here? Can I answer?
Hold on. Why are you introducing? You just said you didn't introduce level. That's what you just said. Then you waited a split second and introduced level. We have go back. We have a line.
All right.
We have the 2
Can
points.
we go back? Can we go back to the beginning?
Don't interrupt me, please. Don't interrupt me. We have the line. We have the 2 points. The line goes through the 2 points. The line is straight. Now, why do you need to ask me if anything is level? The line is straight.
Okay.
It goes through the 2 points. What more do you need? Why are you introducing more?
He's actually right. The hand's actually.
Hold on.
this time.
I don't understand. Right the hand. I don't understand your objection to what he's saying. He's saying if he has a line that's level, if he has 2 points that are level and he connects them, is the line level?
But level is not a word. He's just saying, is it level? It's a straight line. What you're asking, is this straight line something else? A straight line that is connecting 2 points can only be what it is. A straight line that connects 2 points. Now, when you
straight line can be level though.
Okay, but when you say level, what is that?
Yeah,
the line is
level.
straight.
So he's saying a level line. So, okay, critical think. We've got a level line now. What's your point?
You can only have level points.
What's your point? You've got a level line. We said yes, the line is level. Okay. So what's your point?
Right, are we okay to agree that the line is level now, are we?
If you have 2 points, let's say you have a water level, and you match up the 2 ends, right? You have the 2 ends, and you create a line in between those. Yes, it'll be level.
Right. So, do you agree that the order level and the water level pretty much
Wait. Hold on. Brandon, you forgot something very important, and you should ask this before you answer his question. Are you talking about 2D or 3D?
What?
Are you talking about in 2D, 2 dimensions, or 3 dimensions, the line and the points being level? Are you referring to 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions?
Who's the question directed to?
You.
You're the one asking the question about the points being level.
2 points.
Level.
2 points form a line.
Coplanar.
2 points form a line.
2 coplanar
3D space
points.
or 2D space?
am I allowed to speak, or is everyone going to continue to interrupt
Go
me
ahead,
all the
Critical
time?
Think. Yeah, let's let him talk. There's a lot more of us than him. Go ahead.
So, 2 points connected by a line is a 2D representation, but obviously we exist in 3D space, but the line itself is a 2D representation, but it exists in 3D space. So we're not going to ignore the 3D space.
So
Okay,
can
so
I just get
listen,
it clarified
your
just a minute?
question
So
is it
two
referring
coplanar
to a line in 2D space,
points.
or is it referring to a line in 3D space?
Yeah, can we get a confirmation? You're talking about 2 coplanar points, right?
If they were on, yes, all right, they could be interpreted as coplanar, but the
Okay.
plane could be, the plane is a 3D representation as well, but
No, a
doesn't
plane
matter.
is
You're
a
referring to
two-dimensional
3D
surface.
space,
Yeah, yeah,
but
doesn't
the line
matter.
is
It's
not
coplanar.
automatically
Hold on, Bob.
This is all a distraction
hold on.
from the real thing.
No, it's not. It's important because you're trying to do a trick, it sounds like.
Well, what is your point
Well,
with
I'm
this 2D versus 3D thing, Bob?
The point is, I made this point the other night. If he gets you to agree that if the points are level and the line is level and you're thinking 2D, just like a normal person would, logically thinking 2D, because all he said was points and lines, so you're thinking 2D, and then later on he'll change it to a 3D and say, well, the line was actually curving the whole time, but you already agreed it's level. The problem with that is that once you switch it to 3D, it's no longer a straight line. It's been curving.
Yeah, so we've sorted
you
that
need to
by
answer
saying they're
first.
coplanar.
Are you referring to 2D or 3D? If you're referring to
Coplanar.
2D, the line is straight.
Okay.
If it's 3D, you're
This
aligned.
It is a
this
straight
line-
line, Critical Think. What is your next point?
Right. So
I
if
need you to use your name, bro.
if this straight line is level, then this, if the Earth were flat, the ground that you're standing on would be parallel to that straight line. Okay.
In Euclidean, hold on. In Euclidean physical geometry, correct?
No.
Yes, it is
No,
correct.
No,
yes,
he
yes,
said
it is.
ground.
Here he
Yes,
goes.
Ground would be
The
flat.
ground
It's not.
meaning the ground mean the theoretical surface of the Earth that is coplanar,
Just stick
correct?
to the water. Stick to the water.
Let's
Fine,
just say
water.
it's
Fine,
water, so
water.
that you
Water.
Let's just see, because we got water in this picture, so it's okay to say water. So if the Earth were flat, the water and the level line would be parallel, correct?
In
horizontal surface.
physical Euclidean space, that is correct.
Now, just for example, now if the Earth were curved, I'm not saying right now that it is, but let's just say if the Earth were curved, then it would not be level.
That's correct.
It would not be parallel. Sorry, it would not be parallel, right?
Yes, that's correct. In your theoretical globe Earth, if the ground were curved, then it would not be level since it's a straight line. But we already said it's a level line.
Yeah.
Right. So in this picture, the water surface is not parallel. You can tell that because there's a drop to the horizon, but not only that, the water does not continue to go in the distance as far as the sun. They would eventually, that distance, like the railway tracks, would eventually become so small
So
that you would not see.
let me tell you what is confusing you. And there's multiple things here. One, you're confusing perspective space with physical Euclidean space. So when you look at this picture, you are not looking at a Euclidean representation of the world. You're looking at a first-person perspective representation of the world as we see it in reality. That does not match Euclidean space. As you know, railroad tracks that go off in the distance will appear to converge in the distance. That is a function of how we see the world. 2, there is a mirage in this picture. You can see it, and that is giving you a false horizon. This, what you would call this hard edge of water here in this picture, is not a physical horizon. So any measurement you do against what you are supposing is a physical horizon in this picture, if that's what you think this hard line of water is an incorrect, because that assumption is faulty. Three, the sun that you are seeing may not actually be the sun. You're looking through approximately 6,000 miles of atmosphere, which is full of water vapor, all kinds of other stuff, and your visual space is compressed at that distance so much, and you're looking through so much atmosphere, so much turbidity, so much water vapor, so much pollution, whatever else, that what you're seeing is not reliable to make measurements against, such as what you're trying to do.
Right. Is it okay if I address each of those 3 points?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is perspective. Perspective works just like the railroad tracks, like you said. Now, just imagine that the surface of the water and the level line were like the railway tracks, except tilted 90 degrees in a vertical direction. Just like the railroad tracks, the surface of the water and the level line should appear to converge in the distance, and they do not. That's number one.
What do you mean they do not?
Number-
Hold on, let's clarify that position. What do you mean that what doesn't converge with the water?
The water, which is one side of the railway track, and the level line, which is the other side of the railway track, they do not converge in the distance. If that was a
level
railway
line, that what you're saying is a level line, which is your reticle and your eyepiece, does not extend out into the Euclidean space. That is a 2D representation looked through visually on top of a perspective scape. You cannot compare those two things. You're comparing Euclidean space to perspective visual space when you do that. That's incorrect.
Well, that's an argument I haven't heard before. The line.
It's a good argument, by the way. Would you agree?
No, it's a terrible argument. I just don't know how to counter it at this point in time. But
listen, get that soundbite. Get that soundbite. That's a terrible argument, but I don't know why.
Go ahead. Go ahead to your second point. Address the second one, please.
That's true, but let's just go. I've just got something here now. Remember, with the railway line, the reason you can see the railway line is because the light travels from the railway line to your eye. Is there an argument with that one?
No, that's fine. We'll go with that. What's your point?
Okay. So while there may not be a reticule that extends out into the distance, I do have there an island that is of a certain height. I'll have to check what height that is, but there is something out there physically. So to suggest that my reticule is not pointing in a particular direction is a bit strange to me.
What do you mean? I've never suggested that your reticle is not pointing in a particular direction. That was not my argument. I don't think you understood it. You should probably later go back and listen to this.
Yeah, let me carry on.
Okay.
So if I were to have an imaginary railway line at my reticule where the crosshairs are, and it would extend into the distance, tell me where you would see that railway line.
Well, just like railroad tracks, if one was below on the ground and one was up, you would see those two extend off in the distance and appear to converge, depending on, ignoring the mirage in this picture, into the distance at some point in the horizon, what you would call a horizon.
Yes, that's right. But the top railway line, it's in line with the reticule. I'm looking directly down that railway line. Where would it go?
It would go down towards the horizon, but there is no railway line. This is what I'm trying to explain to you.
No. That's all right. There is no railway line. But no, the railway line would not go down towards the horizon. I'm looking straight at it on the end. Why would it go down to the horizon?
Because that's how we see. That's how perspective works. That's very simple.
How perspective works is like this. If something is at eye level, it remains at eye level. If something is above eye level, it appears to go down. If something is below eye level, it appears to go up. If something is at eye level, it doesn't go up or down. That's how perspective works.
What? Okay, hold on. Again.
Are you familiar
Brandon,
with
hold.
Wait. Okay. So Go ahead, Travis. Take this. Go ahead.
Okay,
You
Brandon.
seem enthusiastic.
I think that I think that you pointed out a fair criticism with the Euclidean space and the other. I think you called it perspective space or whatever. Okay, so I think that was a fair criticism. What I hear critical think confusing from our perspective is again angular size. Right, if something is at eye level, right. So if I have a wall in front of me that's at eye level and I move away 5 miles, that wall is still at the same level as my eye. Okay, so that's not what our argument is. I'm not really surely critical why you're bringing in an analogy when I don't think it's necessary. But since you brought it up, okay, let's pretend that the island out there in the distance.
Brandon brought it up.
Okay, that's fine. I might have missed that, so I thought you did. That's fine. But let's pretend that this is a terrestrial observation. That is, that the water that we're looking over right now is actually land. And then out there in the distance, that island is not an island, but a mountain. Okay? If we were standing in the middle of railway lines, those railway lines would only go, and those railway lines physically went to the base of the mountain. That's the highest they would go. So if you see that inferior mirage, which is just above the horizon, okay, that's as high as the railway lines would go. They wouldn't go up to where your auto level is.
I just want to get a drink of water because my mouth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think
That's
what
fine.
he's trying to say is that, okay, so in his photo, if you look at it, his reticle is pointed above the horizon. We'll call the horizon this doubling point in here, even though we don't really know where the horizon is. It's somewhere in here. So I would say that his crosshair is considerably above the horizon. He thinks that if a railroad track started right here at his height, let's say this is 6 feet where the cross of the reticle is, and went off towards that island, that wouldn't drop down towards the horizon, that he would see that out there in one long line, and 6 feet would, let's say it went on forever, it would go into the top of that sun. That's ridiculous. If you had a railroad line on top, such as in this picture, it would drop. Let's say you had a railroad line at eye level here. It would drop down to the horizon no matter what. You are going to see that drop down to the horizon.
Well, no, that's incorrect.
It is 100% correct. If you had a railroad line that went off into the distance from starting at this reticle point and went directly parallel out, it would stay 6 feet above the earth and go straight out and down towards the horizon. Now we're getting into the point where you're mistaking how perspective works for Earth curve. This is the crux of the argument.
Can I just? I haven't finished addressing the 3 points.
Okay.
This is our first point, and this is going to be a stumbling block because that's not how perspective works. If in the railway line diagram, for example, there's a red line across the screen, which would represent your eye level. Now, your railway line starts off below your eye level in that picture. I'm talking about if you put your camera right at the top of the rail, it's not going to go up or down. That's how perspective works. Remember, something above eye level comes down. Something below eye level goes up. But if it's at eye level, it stays at eye level.
No. No, this is ridiculous what you're saying here.
Mistaken.
You are looking out.
critically
Let's say
thinking.
at the distance of that island right there, and that island is 100 meters tall. You are looking out at 100 meters altitude out near that island, right? So you're 6 feet here where the reticle starts, and your point would extend out into Euclidean space, and it would be 100 meters above that island. Is that your contention? It wouldn't drop down towards the horizon?
The point is level, and it's going, yes, it is at that point. Now, I'll give you some of the figures. My observation point is approximately 15 meters high, and I believe that island, I haven't worked it out exactly, but I think that represents about 70 meters to the top of that landmass. So yes, it's pointing the distance between the horizon that we can see. Let's discuss the horizon separately.
Yeah.
And that level point is greater than 15 meters. Yes.
Okay.
How far away is the
Well,
island?
hold on a minute. Let me address that. That's a good point. How far is the island?
37 kilometers thereabouts.
All right. We'll just ignore the fact that this entire thing analysis is nonsense because of all that atmospherics. But let's talk about this and look at this picture right here. Okay? So we're looking off into the distance. Where would our reticle be right here? You know, somewhere in here. You can see that these will always go down to the vanishing point. No matter where the lines are, where the parallel line is starting here, they will always end at the vanishing point. It doesn't matter what altitude they are at, they'll always end at the vanishing point, which is on the horizon.
Look at the 0 degree line.
This street is flat, correct?
Look at the 0 degree line.
Okay.
Horizontal.
It's anything on that line doesn't go up or down.
Okay. What's your point with that? You're saying that this is the 0 degree line? This is the 0 degree line, you think?
The 0 degree line is my
Just
crosshair.
horizontal.
You can see, yes. You can
Let
see
them
the
talk
top
to 'em.
ones come down, the bottom ones go up, the 0 degree line stays. They don't go up or down.
Okay. Are you done addressing my points? Because I do have
No.
something to... You're not. Go ahead then.
There's 2 more points. You make the point about the horizon, and there is an inferior mirage there, as there is nearly every morning. And you can see just about where it is. The magnitude of the inferior mirage is a few meters there. If you want, I haven't measured it exactly, but under normal conditions, you can tell within, say, several meters that the horizon is somewhere in that vicinity. It's not going to be 100 meters in the air. And you know that's the horizon because you can see the sun behind it. And you said we don't know where the sun is exactly because there's refraction. That's true. There is refraction, and this has been studied by astronomers and many people. And the sun that you see there is actually higher than it is in real life. So the sun is, in fact, below the horizon at this point in time, but we see it as above the horizon. But that doesn't alter the fact that a level line is pointing over the top of the sun. Right.
You know, you've just... Okay, so let me tell you my major problem in where the issue lies. The difference that we're not going to be able to resolve. And then I'll hand you off to whoever else wants to talk to you. You have an understanding of perspective that includes Earth curve. You are transferring the optical effects that you see due to perspective and calling that Earth curve. That is part of what formed your understanding of the heliocentric model. So you see everything through that lens. Myself, my assumption is this is a flat plane that extends into the distance, and the effects that we see are due to perspective. Things drop due to perspective. They do not drop due to Earth curve. That is how we see the world. You're transitioning that to Earth curve.
Is the horizon a physical location?
Who are you asking, Brian?
Whoever was arguing against you.
Critical thing.
Critical. Is the horizon an actual location?
I think he needs to change his name.
Hey, I've
You
already
still
said
there?
that.
We don't hear
Yeah.
you if you're
I-
talking,
he's-
critical thing.
Yeah, he's not lighting up at all, so we'll just wait maybe until he comes back. But
Well, let me do a shout out then.
okay,
real
here he
quick.
is. Here he is.
Give me 1
Critical, I
second.
want-
Rob Keane,
I
$5.
want
Bev
to-
is here. Show some respect
Is-
for Euclid. Thanks, Rob. Go ahead.
So if I could address first the point about substituting perspective for curvature or the other way around. It doesn't really matter. The thing is that I know how perspective works. It works the same way on a curved surface or a flat surface. Perspective doesn't make curvature. Curvature makes curvature. Now, I'm trying to here, nobody seems to understand the point here. And like I tried to make the point with the railway tracks. If you're twisted in a vertical direction, I'm looking forward on one track. The other track should rise up to meet, just like you did with that street photo. The street rises
I've already
up.
addressed this. I already addressed this.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I
At the
did.
0 degree, the 0 degree line, everything below that 0 degree should come up to that line. Everything above the 0 degree line should come down. We do not see that in this picture.
This is silly that you think that the only things that aren't that won't drop due to perspective are those that follow that reticle, which is a 2D reticle laid over a 3D world into the distance. If you had a physical line that went out straight from that reticle, it would drop to the horizon.
No, it cannot. If you're going to look down a stick or anything straight, it's not going to go curved up or curved down. You're just looking down a straight object. Just say you have an infinitely long stick. If you put your eye at one end, it's not going to curve up or down. What are you talking about? That's silly.
No, what you're saying is silly. But go ahead.
No, right. You tell me again, if you look down an infinitely long stick that's straight, are you saying now that it should curve up or curve down?
It will go down towards the horizon. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Words.
Those are not words. Everything ends at a vanishing point on the horizon. Everything. All parallel lines end at a vanishing point on the horizon.
Critical. Is the horizon an actual physical location?
The horizon is an optical effect.
Why are you ghosting us?
No, it's
I want to see about that. So the horizon
changer. I would boot
the horizon. All right, it's a complicated
voice changer.
It's actually not complicated.
Well, it is.
It's not.
I lost track of the question now. So everybody's talking. I don't know what's happening.
So who wanted? I think Brian, you wanted to ask a question, didn't you?
The horizon, is it a physical location?
So that's seems like
no.
Wait a minute.
Yes
It seems like a bit of a loaded question in that if you were to send,
ask me, Brian. Ask me.
No. If you were to send,
is the horizon?
All right, then I'm not given a chance to answer the question. I'm not going to.
That's all you answer, and don't use your voice changer.
You don't want to answer critical? Is that what you said?
No, it's not that. It's just that every time I try to answer, I'm drowned out. Why should I bother?
Yeah, you guys got to let him answer. Go ahead, critical. Answer the question.
Now we've got to decide who you actually are now.
You can say whatever you like. But if I'm not given a chance to answer, why would I bother? So let's go. Is the horizon is determined by a lot of factors, and it can be a physical point, but it is also an apparent thing because you have refraction, you have inferior mirages, so you can't necessarily tell the exact place where the horizon is, but it's there because you cannot see beyond the horizon. You see sky. So I don't know how to answer that exactly.
So speaking of refraction,
can we go there?
If someone is at the shore and another person rows a boat out to the horizon, the person on the shore can say, I can see that you're at the horizon. So what else do you want to know?
Would the sky be down at the sea at that point then, yeah?
What?
Well, you said it's where the sky meets the sea. Would
Well,
the
the
sea,
person at the shore sees that, but when you row your boat out there, it moves on to further out. It's continually shifting depending on where you're observing from.
and when the bloke's rowing the boat looks backwards, he will say to his mate, "No, you're at the horizon, not me."
So, big deal. It changes from your point of view. Big deal. It's not a fixed
So
place in
it's not
space.
an actual position, is it?
Well, this is
Yeah, when-
pointless this discussion. The
It's
horizon.
not
can
an
move.
actual position.
Well, I don't know what the point of that is because the horizon is
If
the
it's
definition
not,
of what we
if
see
it's
when the
not-
sky meets the water.
if it is not an actual position, how can you do any sort of measurements from it?
I don't.
Speaking of measurements, you don't have any of the refraction measurements through your optical corridor. So how do we even know what's going on here? This picture is meaningless.
Well, the picture's not meaningless. Let me ask you a question. If you see a car, right? Just imagine a picture of a car. Now, it has a tire and it has the roof. You know, the roof is higher. Excuse me, the roof is higher and bigger than the tire, but you don't know the size of the tire. You don't know that, but you know that the roof is higher than the tire because the tire is a certain size.
What?
So you have no measurements of the optical corridor, so you have no idea what's going on atmospherically in your picture. It's worth
Oh, I have a very good idea of what's going
Okay,
on
where's
atmospherically.
the measurements? Where's the measurements?
The measurements have been done by I
No, you need to
couldn't
do
use
them in. You need to do them at your
Excuse me.
location. You got to do them at your location
why.
because they vary.
What's it going to tell me is that the horizon
It's
is
gonna
100
tell you what
meters in the air.
refraction's doing. It's going to tell you what refraction's doing.
We know what refraction does,
You
but it's
don't because
very
you don't have the
no,
measurements.
Excuse me, you don't even know how to. You cannot measure the refraction on a particular day with any accuracy. That's why Ruhiv says get
What?
up high where you know that the refraction is fairly constant. Now, the refraction will cause the horizon to move up and down a little bit, but not 100 meters.
Listen,
Oh.
you don't have the
Back
measurements.
your ass.
This-
You've got no measurements. You've got
Hold-
looking as high as you can. You still got to look down to the horizon, looking through the thicker atmosphere. What you're doing is ludicrous.
Yeah, what you
So
just
why-
said was
Hold
pure
on,
nonsense.
Jeremy,
level
go ahead.
of-
Continue your line of
Why
questioning,
the
please,
level
Jeremy.
of the sun?
So refraction varies from location to location. So in this picture, where you don't have the measurements of your optical corridor, you have no idea what the atmosphere is doing because you have none of the measurements.
That's not true that I have no idea.
Where's
I know
your
that
measurements?
I know that it's in a particular range. I know if something is 1 inch long, you know that it's not 100 meters long. But
Let's
if
see
you
your
don't measure
measurements.
it, you know it might be between 1 and 2 inches. You know it's not 100 meters long. It's really simple. I don't know why you make it so hard.
You have none of the measurements through your optical corridor. You have no idea what the refraction is doing.
Well, that's not true. I do have an idea of the refraction because of
Okay, where's the
prior
measurements?
prior measurements by many people. The measuring of refraction in the atmosphere is fairly well known, but down near the surface of the water, it's very variable. Yes, but it's not 100 meters.
I think the
Are
point's
you-
made. I think my point's been made. Someone else can carry on because he has nothing. So
Are you saying there is drop from your position?
Drop to the horizon. Yes, of course, you can see it in the picture.
I.e.,
but you don't know.
curvature in the earth, yeah?
That drop is caused by curvature of the earth. Yes.
So if I go 90 degrees to your observation point, I would see that drop right to left. Yeah, correct?
No, that's not correct.
Do you see my screen? Critical think.
So you can only see it in one dimension. Oh dear. Have you?
I
all
see it.
Have you all
right, right to left is a different thing. People don't understand right to left drop, and it's complicated, and I cannot go into it now because we can't even establish that if you look down a straight line, the
Yeah.
line doesn't go
You
up.
can
I
only
just
see
have
drop
to-
one way.
a
That makes a
second?
lot of sense. You're right. Okay, so if you look at my screen, you'll see two pictures that are taken from the same location. Rakia Life can jump in here if he wants to add anything to this. Towards the same target. And you can see that the location of the horizon and where the reticle point cross lands is drastically different, including the view of the objects in the picture. And this is not 37 kilometers, by the way. This is, I think, less than 6 miles, if I remember correctly. Do you understand? This is our point.
Measurements.
Say that. Go ahead.
2.7 miles.
2.7
miles.
2.7 miles, and this is how drastic an impact it has on where that crosshair lands. Critical.
Brandon, just to point out that it has been known for these people to not know how to set up these tools. So there is no proof that that was set up horizontal. That's just a picture with a crosshair in it. So, I mean, take what you will from that. It's just a picture with a crosshair in it.
Same could be said for Critical Think's picture here too, as well. Good point. But go ahead, Critical Think. We bombarded you. Do you have a response?
Hello. Could I just insert? Just one sec. The guy that took those two images was George Netanyahu. So just so that you are aware.
It's okay. Yeah, I know. But should also add that the guy that calls himself the main surveyor has put a video out where he puts an auto level next to a theodolite and makes them both point at the same place, and the crosshairs are in different positions. So make of that what you will. I would say that these people don't know how to set their tools up because they put videos out with differing crosshairs. I can show you the pictures if you want. I'll find them and put them in general chat for you, just so you know.
Nutsack isn't a surveyor either.
Yes.
Yeah, but let me just say that I think that the location that he took this image from was exactly the same. So it's like a platform. He was on the same position, and the imagery that we're seeing. Forget the crosshairs. We're just looking at the imagery here. So I think that's what Brandon's going to be looking at.
Well, yeah, that's all I'm looking at, and
right?
you know, we can take it for what it's worth. He swears it was the same setup, same picture, same everything, same view. But you know, it is what it is. How do we trust Critical Think's picture for the same reasons?
The refraction on separate days is of course going to vary. Now that's not very far away, but in my case, I go out many times and we don't see that sort of thing very often. It's more that normal refraction. So I've got pictures of other days.
On the same viewpoint?
Yes.
What is normal refraction?
I'm sorry, just real quick. Have you publicized those?
No.
Okay, would you be willing to do that?
Yes.
And I'm just because this was actually a question I was going to ask you, Critical. It was that it may be that if you're taking these images at a particular time of the year, that your refractive index is going to be pretty much consistent or close to uniform. So I'm just curious: do your images span multiple seasons or just one particular season?
I've got pictures all year round, and I haven't analysed each and every one of them to see how much, but I never get extreme refraction like that in that picture. But it does go up and down during the year. In winter, I can get more refraction and lifting the horizon a bit, and right now but it's never a big difference. That's how I know it's not going to be 100 meters in the air.
I'm saying I can't hear you. My phone gets mad loud.
Jeremy, your mic is.
Can't hear you.
Jeremy, your mic is wonky. Are you even talking to us?
My bad. Hold on, guys.
Go ahead, continue, Travis.
Well, I would just be interested in looking at that footage because, as I've demonstrated with the videos that I put out and the images that we've looked at on this channel and even mine, the differences are, for me, drastic. And as was pointed out, this image from George is less than 3 miles. So you are now asking us to multiply that times 10. And it doesn't seem to cross your mind that you're going to increase those variables all that much more. So, but anyway, I would be interested if you have a Google Drive or whatnot. I'd be delighted to look through that.
It would take me some time to get those together, but you got to understand too that I'm trying to, at my elevation of 15 meters, it's not quite good enough to get over the worst of the refraction. But as I get higher, then the effects diminish.
No,
that's not necessarily true, because and I've made this point numerous times as well. If you take a shot at 15 meters and then 30 kilometers, okay, and then let's say you double your elevation to 30 meters. Okay, you now have to then increase the distance that you make your observation. So now you're not changing anything. Those variables are just going to transfer to height and distance. You're just changing your location. You can't look. Okay, look, just real quick, in case you aren't saying this, but so if you look at an observation at 15 meters and your observation is 30 meters away, if you elevate yourself another 15 meters and look at that same observation, okay, that's not going to be the same dynamic that you just left. Of course, you're going to change things. But if you were to look past that observation farther into the distance, you're then going to duplicate what you did at a lower elevation. So you can't just simply raise your elevation and look at the same object.
Well, when you raise your elevation and look at the same object, you're removing one of the variables from the equation. So it allows you to distinguish the effect is because of raising. If you start to double the distance, then you've got two variables. You've got distance and elevation change, and you don't know which effect is result of which. So you do them one at a time so that you can study this effect. Now, I've done this 0 meters or very close to ground and 15 meters, and I've published that in a video, and you can see that there's definitely more refraction at the bottom and when you're close to the surface, and when you get up, a lot of that refraction is not detectable that way. So that's what I've done.
So can I just ask, you've done this with an auto level, have you?
No, I've done that with a camera.
Okay,
that
so
particular experiment.
But you've done an experiment with a camera. Right, that I was on about the picture that you had before on the screen.
That was an auto level.
That was an auto level, right? So, what specs was that auto level? Just as a matter of
which spec are you after?
Is it a 32 times scope on it, or is it
32 times?
Okay,
yes.
Right. So that's the best magnification you've got, and it's a tiny little lens, isn't it? So you won't use a camera. It'll have been taken with a phone or something.
Yes.
Right, through the eyepiece. Now, is that usually how you use an auto level?
That's how I make a picture so that I can show you people.
You show us what though? A view of the sun.
The sun is
through an auto level.
The sun is below level. That's what I show you.
Right, and that is meant to mean what? Because like an auto level, is that what you were doing? Just showing that? Because you weren't taking any measurements or anything, were you?
Well, that's a measurement. That's an auto level. It measures level.
It measures level.
When you calibrate it correctly, that crosshair.
What do you mean when you calibrate it? You don't calibrate it, do you?
Yes, I do bloody well calibrate
you
it.
don't calibrate levels.
Yes, I do. Do not try to tell me how to do this auto level. I know what I'm talking about.
Calibrate. Yeah. Do you understand what that is?
Yes, I do.
Right, so you fill the certificates out for calibration tests on
I don't
levels.
Certify the calibration. I calibrate it. My own auto level, I calibrate it.
How do you calibrate your auto level?
By following the method in the manual.
You don't calibrate your level in through the manual. So, okay.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you not knowing what you're doing.
I'm
First of
talking
all,
about you not knowing
you are
what you're doing.
pointing an auto level at the sun. Not a wise
So?
decision.
I
Right?
know that. And you can see I'm not looking at it. The camera's looking at it. And you know that the sun is through many miles of atmosphere and there's not much light coming through there. Not
Okay.
If you wait a few minutes, it would be very bright.
Right. So, what is the effective operating range of an auto level in order for it to do the job that it is meant to be doing?
I'm not using it. I'm not using it for the job that it's meant to be doing. I'm using it as a level. If you were to use it to measure something, this is why they say you should only use it a few hundred meters, because after that, refraction and the curvature of the Earth start to make it inaccurate.
Yeah, no,
Now,
you
that
measure
doesn't
into
change.
a measuring stick. That's what you do with it. You measure. If you have a look in the general chat, you see that the crosshairs.
No, that's for a particular purpose of measuring.
Yeah, and that's the
level. Now,
auto
I'm not
level.
using
That's
it-
what the job
I'm
it
not
does.
I'm not using it for that purpose.
I
In
know
this
that's
case,
that's what I'm pointing
using
out.
it. I'm using it for the purpose of sighting level across the ocean.
You're just sighting the sun through a 32 times scope.
So the sun is below eye level. How does it get to be there?
Below eye level. It's below the crosshair. Yeah.
The crosshair is eye level. So how does the sun get to be below
If your
eye level?
eye goes behind the scope, then that would be the horizontal set by the scope, yeah?
Sorry, what
your
was that
eye
question?
doesn't set a level. That tool, the auto level, sets a level. Yes.
But when I'm looking through that auto level at that
Yes.
crosshair on a properly calibrated
That's not
auto
a-
level,
Not a
that's the
professional
level
job,
line.
that though, is it?
The sun is below eye level. How does the sun get below eye level?
Let me ask a
Does the sun
question
go
about
down there.
Well, hold on. Let me ask
Yeah,
one
how does
question.
it get down
Just
there?
one question, guys. So you think that sun is supposedly 6 million miles away? You think that when you look out and you look straight ahead of you, that 6,000 miles away, you can draw a that what you're looking at is the same distance above the Earth as you?
No, it's curved, so it's not the same distance above the Earth.
The water level curves.
The water curves. That's, as you can see in that picture. If it didn't curve,
It curves
would-
away
it
from
would
you.
if it didn't curve, it would rise up to the crosshair, but it doesn't,
No, it
does it?
wouldn't.
So if
No,
we
no,
were
it
living on a
stays
flat
horizontal.
plane and you looked out 10,000 miles or 100 miles or 500 feet, you would see what is exactly at your eye level. Whatever you see would be at your eye level.
If the sun was in the distance, let me get this straight. If the sun was in the distance, it would be blocked by the water that went into the distance, so far into the distance, it would block the sun. But the water doesn't go into the distance, it curves away. If the water did go into the distance, it would appear to rise up to that crosshair. It does not.
So this
Yeah,
last light in this picture here, this is at eye level. It's only
what?
must be only 6 feet tall. This is a flat plane. I mean, you know, stuff drops down towards the horizon, even on a flat plane. You're just mixing up curve and perspective. That's all you're doing.
No, I explained this before.
No, you don't need to
still
explain
don't-
it again. This is my question that I'm trying to
still don't
clarify.
get it.
You think no matter how far out you look, what you're seeing is at your eye level.
At the eye level, no matter how far you look, it does not go up or down. Eye level stays eye level, does not go up or down.
No, it's not right.
Prove it that it's not right. Prove that it's not right.
I don't need to. We know we have a finite vanishing point. You're going to say, well, that's because of Earth curve. And then I'm going to say, no, that's how perspective works.
There are many.
That's why I said we're not going to be able to resolve this point.
The vanishing point is above the horizon. It's been done many times.
But on Jose's show tonight, we did talk about the vanishing point And it's interesting to differentiate the vanishing point of the space above the surface versus the vanishing point of something on the surface. So it appears there's a bit of a equivocation here. They will tend to merge over infinite distances, but they're really separate points.
Sorry,
so
Bev,
you
I
will have a
interrupted your.
convergence point for the surface will be below the convergence point of space above the surface anyway, as long as the surface is beneath your eye level.
You cannot have anything converge below eye level. Okay, it has to converge at eye level. That's how perspective works. You can't have it converge anywhere else.
It converges toward the level of the eyes and appears to rise toward the level of the eyes, but technically it is still below the eye level. It's just
Technically,
merging so much it appears to be at the level of
is
the eye.
low, but it converges like the railway lines converge. Technically, they're still apart, but they appear to converge. So technically, the ocean is below the level, but on a flat Earth, it should appear to converge. It does not.
But you have equivocation because you're talking about the convergence of points in space above the surface versus the convergence of the stuff on the planar surface below your feet. So there's a bit of equivocation.
No, I'm talking about convergence.
They're close, but they're going to be off slightly if you get close to the edge.
I don't think it matters where they are. Things converge into a vanishing point.
Pretty much, yes.
That's a well-known fact. That's why we draw in first-person perspective. That's why they teach you to do this. And you can see it in life. Go find a picture and look at it. Draw the vanishing lines. Everything vanishes into the vanishing point. Doesn't matter how high it is. Doesn't matter.
Well, they try to get flat earthers and draw these perspective lines, and they say it should converge perfectly on the horizon. But with thickened clouds, haze, and the curvature of the lens, it's kind of hard to tell. Brian Mabbitt and I were on Jose's, and the camera tricks that they tried to do were just unbelievable. Adding curved surfaces. They tried to do the pinhole thing to say, oh, we're still seeing curvature with this curved paper, with or without a lens. It's just crazy. Trying to deny that lenses do potentially add curvature. It's insane.
Yeah, those are good points too. Bev, I think I cut you off a few minutes ago in your line of questioning. Did you want to continue, or did I ruin the flow? No, he's not there.
Thank you, Brian, for coming on there and keeping it flat, by the way.
No problem, mate.
Does anybody else have any questions or for critical think?
Yeah, I just want to state that the main two problems with this picture are he's way out of range for the tool that he's using by a lot, and he has no measurements of the optical corridor to get the refraction measurements. So he has no idea what refraction's doing. He can say, yes, I know what refraction's doing, but in the meantime, he has no measurements to show that actually is what's happening.
So you don't count the observations by millions of people overall. You don't count my observations every day that I go out there and see what it's doing, and that I would know because I'm out there, not sitting in a chair talking on YouTube. I'm out there making these observations and measurements, and you're saying I don't know how much refraction is likely to be there. You're right, I don't know exactly, but I know that it's not going to be that much.
Well, we have to question the philosophy. You were saying?
Oh, Bev's back, Toy, Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, Bev, you're back?
Yeah. Can I just one quick question? When you were looking out with your auto level over the horizon, would you say the horizon was parallel with that horizontal?
In the case of when I'm only at 15 meters high, it is essentially parallel, and you can't measure the difference between at that height. You cannot
parallel
measure the difference
or not parallel.
And it's not. Technically it's not parallel, but you cannot measure
Not
that.
parallel.
It's
So
parallel.
you are willing to say that the horizontal is not parallel with the horizon?
I'm not going to discuss the side to side thing. That is a totally different subject.
No, this is a very simple question.
Yes, I've already given you the answer, but I'm telling
Which
you,
you
it's
say
a
it's
silly
not okay.
question. It's
It's
a
not.
silly
It's a very,
question. It's a
very
silly
easy,
question.
simple
It's a silly
question. Now,
question
can you
because-
find me somewhere that says a horizontal is not parallel to the horizon, please?
I know your definition game and I'm not playing it. So what I'm saying here is that when I look straight out from my auto level, that's the horizontal line that the auto level measures. It's not that side to side. Side to side is not what this instrument measures. So am I going to go by what the instrument measures, or am I going to go by what you say?
But you're way out of range of your tools. You're way beyond your tool's range. to
Much
make a measurement.
simpler than that. The tool establishes a horizontal. In the crosshairs is a horizontal. You say it's not parallel to that horizontal. Why would that be?
Because the curvature of the Earth now, but this is irrelevant to this measurement because that's a different discussion.
This is the definitions of the words we are going to be using. You're talking about shape.
This here diagram, this photo shows the shape in one photo. This is it. The surface of the water curves away. It does not rise to the level line that I've cited there. That's how you tell the shape.
That level line, the one that's horizontal.
No, the crosshair is looking out. That's the level line looking out.
The
from
horizontal.
observer, not the horizontal line. The line
that's what the tool and auto level establishes.
Horizontal away.
Are you
from
saying
the
that horizontal line isn't the level?
The tool does not measure horizontal side to side. That's not what the tool does.
That line is the horizontal crosshair.
No, that line is just the way the crosshair is positioned.
The one in the middle is the vertical. The other one's horizontal.
That line is because I've moved the crosshair to calibrate it, and in so doing,
you've moved the crosshair.
You moved the crosshair
of a fucking auto level. Get out of
the crosshair.
If I don't move the crosshair, how am I going to calibrate it? Really, that's so silly. Of course, I've moved the crosshair, and the side it is rotated slightly. And I can fix that up. But the point is the crosshair, where it meets in the middle, that's the level line.
Rotated slightly.
Done. Critical think. Say goodbye. Take a bow, and never bother showing your face again.
Why is that? Tell me why.
Because the hairs are a focal thing on the lens. They are optical within the device. You do not move the crosshairs.
Of course you move the crosshairs. That's how you calibrate it. Don't you know anything at all about auto levels?
What's your process for calibrating?
The process for calibration is to sight approximately 30 meters each way from a center point. It could be up to 50 meters. You get the difference, and then you go to one end to within 1 meter of the other end, and you sight back again and sight to the 1 meter away pole, and the difference in levels should be within 3 millimeters, they say in the spec, but I've made it 1 millimeter because I have to go a longer distance.
And where in the process do you move the crosshairs?
You move the crosshairs to make the adjustment.
When you say move them, when you say move,
do you think only one person can calibrate these things, Bev?
Just a minute. Let Rodney finish, please.
I was just asking him to clarify when he says he moves them. What does he mean exactly? How does he move them?
They have an adjustment on the auto level for you to perform the calibration. They give you a tool to do it and everything.
How do you not know that, Bev?
What? Oh wow! Who does that sound like?
The only thing is these instruments have an optimal range, and a lot of the items that we do see.
Lemon, are you a level expert?
Me?
You're not either,
Yes.
so he's about as expert as you are.
What?
So let's talk about the range again, because this keeps coming.
No. Let's keep on the fact that you think you can calibrate a level.
Yeah, you could keep going with this if you want.
Well, Rodney,
Yeah, go on.
Rodney asked if that was how you calibrated it. Rodney, did he describe accurately how you were supposed to calibrate the tool?
Well, he described the calibration steps, but still, I'm still confused on where he's moving the crosshairs and how he's doing it.
No,
The crosshair has an adjustment on the tool. They give you a tool to help adjust the crosshair. You can make it up or down, and obviously you can actually rotate it slightly. I did notice there was a bit of movement on that, and so my crosshair is slightly rotated, but I've calibrated it on the cross. That's my level point.
Yeah, you don't move the crosshair to do the calibration. You set up your auto level and you level it using the leveling screws, the Allen screws, and then the 3 different knobs that you can turn to level it. You don't touch the crosshairs or the lens.
That's a different process. Leveling it is not the
Well,
same
that's the
as
process that we
calibration.
use.
Right, yes. Yeah,
That's the process. You do it correctly.
He's
You
right.
don't
He's
go
just leveling it,
move
right?
the lens.
There is, when you set it up, you level it with the bubble in the middle, and that's a different process from calibration.
Yes, it is. Now, what you described was the 2 peg test, which is a check for level, which isn't calibration either. The calibration gets done at a shop on a big bed with mirrors all over it, and it is a professional job. That's why you end up with a sticker and a certificate with your level once it has been calibrated.
There are
Yeah,
people
what
who
he
do
described was just a field test, just a quick check for accuracy.
I know, Bev. I think I know what he's doing. He's leveling it and then adjusting the crosshairs to meet his
You can't, Brian. Brian, you cannot adjust the crosshairs. This is the point we're trying to get at. There's people here that think they can do things, but it's all imaginary.
Yeah, I can
They're
say
using tools.
Never, ever in my career of surveying adjusted the crosshairs for any reason. I've had no need to.
Because the devices come calibrated, right?
No, you have to get them calibrated.
Yes, when you
have
buy
to
a
send them off
device,
to be calibrated and certified.
yes, that's correct. But the thing is, in my case, it's not certified. It's a very
so yours isn't a calibrated level then?
Yeah, I calibrated it myself, following the calibration.
It's not to be trusted. Not to be trusted.
Well, that's not true. They give you the calibration procedure. If you follow the procedure, according to the manufacturer, the device is calibrated.
Not do that.
Can I say something?
So we call him
I kind of misspoke before. What he described is not a calibration procedure. It's just a calibration may be off. If you do the check and you get some crazy readings, then it may be off. But it's not a calibration exactly. I mean, you could call it that loosely, but it's not. It has to be calibrated.
I'll go through the calibration again. So it takes foresight and backside, midpoint. You work out the difference between the two. Then you go to one end, foresight, backside, and you work out the difference between the two. They should be the same. If they're not the same, you adjust the crosshair until you do that over and over again.
You
and
do not adjust the crosshairs.
You do not adjust the crosshairs at all.
Do you not think someone does that?
Well, This is going to be very interesting because I guess I'm just going to have to at some point publish the manual so that you know that I'm not talking rubbish.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah, go on. I'll take a picture and stick it in. Flat for Life, thank you very much. $10. Beers for Friday. All right, sounds pretty good, actually. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
In the crosshairs to suit it, so it's not even level.
No, it's not. He did not say that.
No. That's rubbish.
What's the model number of your
say he said that. You can do that, but it shows you to be an asshole.
What's the model number of your tool? Out of curiosity, somebody's asking. Critical thing.
I I haven't got it right here. I can't remember.
That's okay.
It's in.
What do you mean? You don't have it memorized, man? Come on, just have it memorized.
You got the brand or the year?
Yeah, you already said it's a 32. Just give us the brand.
Yes, just like it says, it's out in the car at the moment. So I don't have it with me right here.
You don't know what brand it is?
Hey, Bev, do you keep yours on you all the time? Like, do you have it like right?
I
in your
know what
bed
it
or
is.
something?
Yeah, it's a Dayton, my one.
So
I don't. Does any of this matter? I mean, he's got a fundamental difference with us about how perspective and Euclidean space works. He's conflating visual space with physical space.
Do you know what car you drive?
I don't think
Can I
it
ask one
matters
more
what kind of
question?
tool he has to be personally, or if he moved the reticle. Even if he had all that correct, he'd still end up with the wrong answer.
Well, I just want to ask some questions. I think we
Opinion.
may be
Opposite for us,
misunderstanding
so.
each other. When he says move the crosshairs, are you talking about using the leveling screws? Is that what you mean?
There's a crosshair
To
adjustment.
stabilize it.
No, there's a crosshair adjustment.
Do you want me to switch my camera and I'll put my auto level there and you can show us where this adjustment
I
screw
don't
is
know your model.
located?
I don't know your model.
Bev doesn't know how to do
It
it.
might
So.
be the same as yours.
Yeah. Well, it'll be on there somewhere, surely. You know, the crosshair adjustment screw. You can show us.
I don't know if your model has it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's kind of irrelevant because you don't just use an auto level and point it at a horizon or a sunset anyway. You point it at a grade rise.
No,
So you're not
you
actually
don't
you're not
do that.
actually measuring anything when you in your picture there of the sun.
Great point.
not a
This is not a
Yes.
measurement.
Yes, I am.
No.
I'm measuring level. The auto level measures level. The sun is below level. How does it get to be below level?
Is that how the tool's used? Is that in the manual that you get? It says you can use this tool to measure 6,000 miles away the sun where it should be.
You
Of course,
can't
it's
measure
not in the
level.
manual. This is not what
Like,
people
what
use.
do you
the tool
measure
for.
when you measure level? What exactly do you mean by that?
So we
Do
now
you,
have to
do
go.
you measure a distance or
It's
do you measure an
perpendicular to the
angle? What is
direction
it
of down.
exactly that you measure, please?
Perpendicular to the direction of down. That's level.
What? Just horizontal then?
Perpendicular to the direction of down is horizontal
Yeah.
at that
Exactly.
location.
So that's level then. Level is horizontal. Thank you.
At that location. That line won't be level at 30 miles away.
Straight line?
Well, the main problem is Samuel Robotham talked about these questionable instruments like this, theodolites, and others where the horizon drops below the crosshair because of the refraction of the light through the lens of the instrument. Different instruments gave a different drop. And so without a laser to check your leveling, it may not be quite accurate anyway, especially if you stretch the limits of tolerance.
What,
of
a
an image.
laser to check it, Lemon? Did you just say that?
Yes, to check that
you
it's
need a laser in order to check the what? The level?
check that it's actually level. To check that what you're seeing through the refracting lens is accurate over long distances.
Okay, so do you think the laser would be more accurate than a water level?
The laser would be more accurate than lenses over long distances.
A water level, not there's no lenses in a water level, Lemon.
Water level? Water level's flat.
Pardon?
A water level's flat.
What does that mean?
It means that it's flat. So if you have a water level for long
it's
distance,
flat.
great.
What does that mean? It's a tube.
It means that it's flat.
What does that mean, Lemon? A water
that it's-
level is a tube filled with water. It can be wiggly all over the place. How is that flat?
I think
How
the
is
water
flat the
inside
best
of it would be
description?
flat, right?
No.
Establishes a flat level surface. I think that's what he's trying to say.
The water
a
in it would
tube.
be flat, right?
No, the water in it would be level. The water would establish an equilibrium of an even altitude.
And they calibrate lasers with a water level.
So the water level would be more accurate than the laser. They wouldn't need a laser to establish that the water level is level. Like because
If
of the
you're talking about
divergence of
spirit
the laser
levels with
beam.
that little bubble in there, even those are only good up to a certain range. They're calibrated within a certain, amount of degrees within a certain range, but even those need to be periodically checked to make sure that there isn't any funny business going on, even when they're calibrated. You need
bubble
something
level.
that's travels straight and true over the land.
A bubble level, did you just say?
Yeah, I don't think you can calculate or calibrate a spirit level.
That's a spirit level.
You can check to see if bulging out or if the alcohol's doing weird stuff or whatever. Even those things need to be checked occasionally.
Yeah, we're not talking about a bubble level, Lemon.
Occasionally, they do fall out of accuracy, even spirit levels. Yeah,
Yeah, but we know how to do that, Lemon.
Yeah.
If your
well
tube
aware.
breaks and the liquid comes out, yeah, it'll not be accurate. But other than that, it's either right or it's broken.
Yeah, you just turn it through 180
Yeah.
degrees and notice to see if the bubble's in the middle still.
It can warp,
It's dead easy
expand,
to
all that
check
other stuff.
a bubble level, Lemon.
And they're
Really
only accurate up to a couple degrees anyway. So the stuff
Up
can get
to a
pretty...
couple of degrees.
Yeah, but that's not what he's talking about when he says a water level, though.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
put it
Critical
right.
Thing, did you have anything else that you wanted to bring to our attention, or anything else to say about your photo?
Please, no.
Just I haven't. I won't address it today. The range thing, but it's difficult going, and I probably should shut up now.
Okay.
But thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming. You're welcome anytime. And look forward to seeing what you think about the argument that I made. We did have, if you remember the discussion last night with the Foucault pendulum poking stick, somebody went out, I think this was Brian, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was Brian went out and found they actually are selling Foucault's pendulum poking sticks. Now, I don't know who gets a cut of this, I don't know who the seller
Fuck
is.
outta here.
Are they calibrated for different latitudes? Different lengths? Is that what they're for?
Calibrate them yourself, mate.
You'd have to talk to Potty Don. Potty Don, he does have 896 stars, so 99.1% positive feedback on these sticks. I think you're in good hands. I'm thinking about ordering one myself, to be honest.
They make a great Christmas gift
Who
for
wasn't
any
satisfied,
Glober
right?
that you know.
Who got the stick, and they're like, "This is nothing like I thought it would be."
It's not long enough to reach my pendulum. It was ripped off.
Oh, well, if you read, all lengths available.
Oh, it's available. Oh, it's beautiful. 10 pounds is not too bad for a nice Foucault stick. $2.90 postage. Do you know if they have international shipping to the U.S.? I'll have to check on
I
that.
would imagine so.
I've seen them go $30, $40. That's a hell of a price.
Hell yeah. Thanks for bringing this up, Brian. So, hey, is this a real listing that was out there, or did you create this?
You sounded like a baller now. They believe fucking everything as well.
I want to believe. So I am very much in that mindset. Pretty cool, man. That is hilarious. Somebody should list these though. Maybe that's what all the instead of Ranty's panties, Brandon's Foucault pendulum poking stick shop. Anyway, thanks for that, man. That's a good laugh.
No problem, boy.
I've got some stuff that I found around the internet today. And unless anybody had a burning topic that they're just dying to get out there, they saw something amazing, I can go to my bag of tricks and we can start a conversation here. No? Cool. Okay, we've got some fun on the ISS. I should be sharing my screen with you guys. Just let me know if you don't see it.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, some more out the window footage. And let's see if you guys notice anything. Notice what I did in this footage from Donald Glover. Or Victor Glover, excuse me, Donald Glover. My first video from space. Looking at the Earth through the window of Dragon Resilience. The scale of detail and sensory inputs made this a breathtaking perspective. Here we go. Get ready to be blown away again. Yep. There we go.
Very choppy here, mate.
Is it not coming through?
Yeah,
good?
is it choppy on your end? Because it's super choppy on
It's
our.
choppy. It's choppy. You're
Can't even
chopping
really
it up.
see what's going on.
Oh, let me try it again. Dang it. Every single time.
We're getting all shapes of Earth here.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Old folks will have to change their Depends after seeing that.
That's better.
Okay, there you go. We'll watch it one more time, just so. He says, the video just doesn't do it justice. It is pretty amazing.
We can't see it.
There it is.
Can't
Where's-
see it.
No land. What? What?
All freaking ocean and sky and cloud again. Like everything from ISS, 99.9% sky, blue, ocean, and clouds. Who are they kidding?
Yeah, lots of clouds, lots of sky. Good point. That's a huge storm over there too. Did anybody notice anything else?
That it just doesn't appear to be moving.
Yes, the Earth went flat. It's got flat spots on it.
All right, Brian sees flat spots. What about in space?
The reflection. Hot dog.
A hot dog. It does look like a hot dog. He must be having lunch while he filmed this video.
Curve or is it straight there?
No sauce.
Curve or is it straight?
Yeah, it's a pretty boring.
Hold
hot
the
dog.
onions.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he could be holding something else. I'm not sure that's a hot
No
dog. But...
specular highlight from the sun, no highlighted spot from,
No stars.
No stars.
There as well.
Yeah, who said no stars? That was it. That was what I was trying to get to.
But that's always no stars.
Yeah. You can't see stars. Nudge, nudge.
Well, remember that footage we were looking at a couple weeks ago, and this is why it caught my attention, where they're like they're filming that rocket
the
taking
Star
off.
Trail. No, they did the Star Trail as well, didn't they?
They did star trails. Sometimes they're stars,
Yeah.
sometimes they didn't. So this is non-starry Earth here.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember. Are you talking about the one that we watched where it kind of looked like little tiny specks that might be the stars?
Yeah, that were
Is that
going
the one?
into the Earth, like they looked like they were going past
Bubbles.
the Earth or whatever.
Bubbles, yeah.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
So I don't know. You can't see anything here. I watched this like 5 times. There is not one speck of light out there in space. So I'm sure they'll tell us something about the camera couldn't pick it up because the Earth was too bright in the foreground or some shit.
Yep.
But I think if there's stars out there, you should be able to see something, right?
Brandon, in the chat.
Oh wow, you got okay, some star trails here. All right, there we go.
How long do you have to keep the exposure open for that?
What's that, Tony?
How long do you have to keep your exposure open? Sorry about the beeping. To get stars, isn't it hard?
Are you talking through like one walkie-talkie, talking to another walkie-talkie, taped to another walkie-talkie?
Yeah, talking through yours. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, this is obviously a
My
time.
bad. Never mind.
No, you're
Yeah,
all right.
there's
I'm
a-
just giving you
There's
shit.
at least 2.5 hours on those Star Trails.
But at any one time when they take a picture, and if you can get these star trails, you should be able to see a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm sure they got an excuse. You guys, you're probably right. There's probably an excuse, but I thought it
That
was.
top one is impossible, by the way.
Now I've heard this. Why do you think it's impossible?
Absolutely. Well, in order to do a star trail, you put your camera out, you fix it, and it opens and shuts the shutter every, I don't know, 5 seconds or whatever for 2.5 hours. And you end up with a star trail like that.
Exactly.
And
So
so-
if your camera is moving,
Yeah. Supposedly, every 90 minutes doing a revolution. It's just that is impossible. Literally. Impossible.
No. What, Bev? What? The ISS is doing revolution because it's going. It's not the stars. It's a lot closer.
What?
You're joking, right?
The top image is doing 17,500 miles an hour. The bottom image is from a tutorial on eBay. No, not fucking eBay.
Oh, I see. I see.
From off the Earth. They're identical. how can that be if the ISS is doing 17,500 miles an hour through that star plane?
Yeah.
That's probably why you see the stars hitting the Earth. Looks like the stars are hitting the Earth, kind of, right? See that? That's probably one of the reasons. The effect that happens because it's on that fast.
It's impossible. You cannot do it with a moving camera. You move that camera 1 inch or kick it, it's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't look like that. Yeah.
The whole shot gone. Add a bit of light into it. Screwed.
The top one looks fishy. I'll give you guys that much. But the bottom one, you can 100% do.
Yeah, the bottom one's a real one.
We agree. Yeah. The camera barely moved, you lose your star trail. If EQ
Now, the other thing we must notice,
moves,
the other thing we must notice about these is the inner stars are not traveling as far as the outer stars. Now, if we're moving, they should all show the same movement, and they don't. So that implies that it's the stars that are moving and not us.
What? Are you what? Serious?
They've got to be. If they're moving a shorter distance, how can that be if it's us that's moving and not them?
They should all be the same.
The inside of a spokes of your tire, the inside that's close to the hub, those, if you put lights on there and then spun it like a quarter turn.
Yes, that is the hub moving. That is the hub moving, but we're not. We're observing. We're moving, and the hub should be stationary.
We're on the hub. We are. That picture would be us on the inside of the, like close to the hub, or on the tip, or wherever. We would be on the hub.
It's just impossible. If it is us moving, the stars should have the same length trails. Surely.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that one.
Ones that are closer.
The ones that are closer to the center should have the same length star trails as the outer ones.
Don't forget, they're supposed to be not moving. They're supposed to be stationary. It's supposed to be us that is moving.
Right. So we move a certain distance. Okay. And then the camera should, in relation to that spot of light, moves the same distance no matter where that light is.
Yes, all of them should have the same length trails. And on both images, they don't. The inner ones are not moving as far. So it seems like it's some sort of cone that's rotating around us, whatever it is, I don't know. But that does imply to me that them stars are moving because the outer ones are traveling further than the inner ones.
Well, the ones that are farther away are the ones that are going to be smaller lines. The ones that are closer.
Why? When we are moving, not the stars.
It wouldn't matter how far away the stars are.
It wouldn't matter.
Moving. Allegedly.
Yeah, if the stars are the ones moving, it would matter. If we're moving, it wouldn't. I think is what you're saying.
Hello, Brandon. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Silent Zero.
Can you guys hear me?
I could be wrong like 12 times in one show. Trust me.
Can I say something here? Those trails in the center, they could be the same distance if they are like farther than the ones outside. Like maybe the trail seems shorter, but if they are far from that, then that's, you can see it.
They're traveling less than the outer ones. They've got to be. Not us. We're not traveling. If we were traveling, they should be all at the same length.
I understand your point, but it can be done if those stars in the center are farther than the ones outside. The trail is gonna look small, like
farther.
No, it's not, because it's not.
They're further.
It's not
further.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
that's what
are
I
you
mean.
presuming the ones in the center are further?
I'm not presuming. I'm just giving you an alternative explanation, Beb. I'm not presuming anything. I'm just what I'm trying to do here is just give you how an alternative explanation can explain why the trails.
Imagine.
Well, when it comes to stars, all we can do is imagine, right? Because we cannot actually determine anything. We cannot go to that place.
So there's no experts on the lights in the sky then?
I would say no. Not to me.
That is how I see it.
All the experts say that it's
Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that one with what you said about the star trails, Brian. I'm not saying I disagree or agree. It makes sense. I just never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
No, none of us have, and I didn't till it sort of dawned on me. How can they be moving shorter distances if it's us that's moving?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. No, I get your point. Yeah. Because if they're moving, and
Somebody
they could be
should-
farther away. Silent Zero had a good point too. These inner ones could be farther away, but again, you'd have to have them moving.
If the stars are stationary
shit
and
until
we're the
Silent
ones
Zero
that's
said
moving,
it.
Oh, you
the
said
stars
that
are
first, Tony?
stationary.
I'm sorry. Credit goes to Tony, guys. Correction. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Just give me all the praise.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, man.
If the stars are stationary and we're the ones moving, it wouldn't matter how far away the stars are.
That's how I see it.
It's just the light in the sky, aren't they? At that point.
Yeah. Like let's say from our point of view, if we have like a cupola, right? You can create that distance. Like the ones in the center are gonna be farther from your point of view. The ones on the side, they're gonna look closer and they're gonna have a longer travel than the ones in the center.
What?
They're not traveling allegedly. We're traveling.
No, I'm a flat earther though. I'm talking from the Bev. Think about it like this: if you have lights in a cupola, right, and you start recording them,
You mean
the
like
ones on the out.
in a cupola on the ISS? Is that what you mean by a cupola? Like a viewing window?
I'm talking about. All right.
I'm just getting you to clarify what you mean by a cupola.
Like
I think he was pretty clear. Cupola is a cupola.
Like a
it's not just an ISS.
Right. Well, explain, please, to the people that don't know what it is.
Little Mario guys?
That
was a joke. Just kidding. You can ignore that.
Go on, please.
Hold on a minute. Let me just point this out as well.
King Cupola.
The other thing is with the top images, you have got streaks of light, but then you've also got a blob of light. How can you have a blob of light when it should be a trail?
The top one looks like they superimposed it on top of the ISS going over the Earth. I mean, 100%. That's what it looks like. Because the star trails are going through the Earth.
It totally does look like
Like
that.
on the surface.
That is what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah.
If the ISS,
I don't know if this image, they say that image is real. Like they're using that as this image is from us doing time lapse.
Yeah,
if it is, then that's bullshit.
Yeah, and
there's
they're
no way.
doing 17,500 miles an hour, yet they get the same image as what we get on Earth.
they would have circled the Earth. According to them, they would have circled the Earth. According to them, they would have circled the Earth like at least 2 times during that period. Like, there's no way they would have got that picture.
They'd have to take a picture. They'd have to take a picture every single 90 minutes, 1 millisecond past the place they did the last 90 minutes, and that would be kind of hard to do.
That's what I mean. There's no way you get this picture if you're going around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour. There's no way.
It's debunked. Yeah, it got debunked a while ago.
Oh, all right.
They do still claim it though.
Yeah, Simon Dan still made a video about it, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I'm a Glober, and I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I mean, it just looks like total bullshit. Look at this lights down here and the way that what is this supposed to be? This is that Marvel Comics glow shit that they have. Why is that look like it's behind?
That's the Atmo.
Well, they make it look like the star trails are hitting the Earth, and where the lightning is that's where the trail. Because each one of those trails go to where the lightning strikes are. Almost, if you look at it.
So, Tony, you think NASA's lying to us?
I think NASA's lying to us for sure about all kinds of things because they're human. I hate humans because they lie.
Now, isn't that the clone tool they've used to do that bottom bit?
Oh, like this down here with the lightning.
The stripes. Is that, I don't know if that's lightning or what, but the stripes, is that the clone tool? Because it looks like a clone tool to me.
It kind of does. They just
I think it's a 1980s pop video, I think. The intro of one, at least.
Oh no, no!
For real, right?
Somebody's knitted it. It's knitting.
It does look like knitting, yeah.
It's a jumper.
So we have two light streams, one circular and one linear.
Yeah.
That doesn't add
That's
up.
beautiful.
I think it's a visual intro to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they do say this is real. This is Christian Koch, NASA. Who's Christian Koch from NASA?
Hold on a second, Brandon. Go back just 1 second. We missed something there.
To the
How
picture?
come the lights on the bottom are
Someone
not
claimed to
streaming?
be a Christian and they
Yeah,
put
we
him
already
on
said that.
cocaine.
That's
and
Oh,
he
you
made
said
this
that already?
picture.
Oh, I missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
we
was
talked about
saying that.
Yep.
Why are they
Bottom was
blobs?
real, top was dark.
So we have selective streaming. We have
Exactly.
rotational streaming, linear streaming, and blob light. Wow.
What's with the black spots up there? Is that what you guys are talking about, the blobs?
Oh, this is
No,
part of the ISS, I think. Supposedly.
Oh, that's part of the ISS.
Wait, how
sorry.
how
Oh,
are
I
there
see it, I
stars in
see
this
it.
picture?
Yeah, exactly. How are there stars even?
Yeah, they can't
Exposure rates are-
see them, can they? No, that's true.
You
Photoshopped
can't see
them, aren't
stars from where they're at in space, remember?
Yeah.
Brandon, when we're done laughing with this, I posted another another nice thing for the ISS.
This was a good observation day, obviously.
Oh, this is precious. I mean, this kills every notion of that being a real picture.
So
This
this
proof
is
NASA's lying.
They will go to deceive us.
This is proof NASA's lying right here, but some of the Globers still buy it. You're telling me?
But you know what,
hook,
guys?
line, and sinker, mate. They're masturbating over this.
they're saying that
Next
this
year,
was this is 6
Brian.
minutes. This is only 6 minutes of footage. Just let me read this and then we'll move on. The image of the star trails was compiled from time-lapse photography taken by NASA astronaut Christina Koch while aboard the ISS. This composite image was made from more than 200 individual photos taken over a span of about 6 minutes. So whatever, that's the backstory for what that's worth. All right, you
Brandon, will you DM me the link to that, please?
said, yeah. You said you had something in the
Yeah, go to 6. Hold on.
How far would you travel in 6 minutes at 17,500 miles an hour?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I think they said in here 2 locations. Where was it? From Namibia towards the Red Sea. I don't really know where either of those places are off the top of my head.
I don't either.
They're far apart. Go to 636, Brandon. Please,
636. Oh,
we'll get a good
timestamp.
laugh.
Okay, 1 second. 636. Oh, it's way back there already. These guys are firing them off over here. Oh, I see. This Daily Mail article.
Yeah. The Space Hotel.
750 miles you would cover in 6 minutes at 17,000 miles an hour.
I was just about to do the math on that. Yeah, nice work.
All right, so what do we got here, Essie?
What we got here is the upcoming, well, it should have been here this year, the Space Hotel. It's private use. It's going to be coupled with the International Space Station. And you can spend the night there for as low as $35,000.
How much? 40,000?
And they have a nice...
The low price.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought it cost millions of dollars to get somebody into space.
Not anymore, Jeremy. Save up your money.
What they got now, a conveyor belt going up and down there, have they?
Coming soon, the space elevator. Believe it, they're talking about that.
That's just the stay overnight, right? Not the travel to get there.
How do you get there and get back there?
Did you guys notice the cupola that they're gonna have there, and the padded room?
You close
designed
your
by a
eyes and you
French-
breathe really deep. That's how.
Here it is. Wow, look at it. It's floating above the world.
That looks like a shit hotel,
The Axiom segment will be constructed while attached to the ISS at the end of ISS life, detached and opened up on its own. The ISS is set to be decommissioned towards the end of this decade.
I bet my view out the window would be straight back at the fucking hotel.
Yeah, you'd get this one right here.
You can do your own star drills, Brian.
Huh.
Ain't it nonsensical? It's ludicrous.
It's sheer comics. It's unbelievable.
Oh, wow. There's a big cupola you can stand in and look down on Earth.
Yeah, float around.
All right, I'm going to call something, guys.
Float.
I'm going to call something.
Yes.
All right. At some point in the future, they are going to make the excuse that to do stuff like this, they have to put you to sleep first, so that you're not awake and your muscles aren't like contorting and tightening up and stuff because of your anxiety or fear or whatever. When you go into space, they have to put you to sleep first, so that you can get up into space safely without being trained as an astronaut to deal with the stress.
Yes, I was thinking exactly the same.
And then you'll wake up and you'll be quote unquote there.
Yeah. And somehow we've created gravity.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to fake the floating part though.
Some good drugs out there nowadays.
Yeah.
And of course they'll have to do the same thing for your return trip for your safety.
Now keep in mind, this was supposed to start this year, eh? This was supposed to start in 2020.
Mate, we should have had hotels on the moon in the 70s.
Yeah.
Bro, these people will believe anything. They can just put them in a little picture, like, and have picture books for the windows, and they'll be like, oh, look at the moon. It could be hand drawn. They'll make up an excuse. Well, it looks hand drawn when you get that close to it.
Well, imagine what a P900 could do up there. Wow.
Oh, have you seen their array of cameras stuck on the wall?
Thousands.
Yeah.
They may use big, huge magnets to create levitation.
Who knows what
Maybe
they got
they're
up
gonna
their
put you on
sleeves.
a special suit that is gonna be able to levitate you or stuff like that. No.
Don't know if stars again.
One way or
I don't
the
think
other,
they'll
there will
ever
be
do
some
it.
bullshit. That's for sure. Yeah.
Even in that fake picture, there's no stars.
Yeah.
Well, good observation, Bev.
Oh, what is this? They got a little video here.
You can do Star Trek pictures, though.
Look, the ISS just gave birth to it.
Oh yeah, they got a whole segment. You guys should visit that site, man.
Gone? Where's it gone? Did you see the way it faded out?
That's some shitty
That's good,
Photoshop.
that.
Wow. Last change first. Canadian 279, thanks. Keep up the good work, Flat Earth Data Collection. Hell yeah, thank you. Let's see what this is. Wow, that's a pretty good model, actually.
Oh, look at that.
Better
That's
than
spiky
usual.
bit at the bottom there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a
They'll always
cupola
close the
shield,
windows.
that, innit?
Oh, we can't have the
Yeah.
windows open this trip. I'm so sorry. We have these screens for you to look at.
solar flares or something. Yeah.
Hey Bev, did you catch the name of this? There's the padded room. There's a special French design.
Look at that.
Look, it says it will provide a certain degree of Paris Hilton-esque bling.
Padded.
You can't make this stuff up, man.
It's
Hey,
a
Bev,
bejeweled
the complex
ISS.
is called Axiom.
Axiom Station. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same person who designed Steve Jobs' luxury yacht, the Venus.
Is that what it said?
Yeah. Look at that. Wow.
Are you kidding me?
French design, mon ami.
It's got a little fucking
Does that look like a
sparkles in that.
mirror on the wall? That can't.
It looks like one of those rooms where you put crazy people in it, right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. No, those are LED screens.
Hang on, what the fuck
No way.
is that?
Look at the size of that screen on the other. No, I was looking at that bit on the other side.
The mirror.
It looks like a mirror. You can't have a mirror.
They could do LED screens
Wow.
and project views that they've created, couldn't they? In software.
Plunder
these
23 says looks tacky. That's not a future customer there.
It looks like a drug room for a really wealthy person.
I'm picking
so
a
that
supper
they can
break, guys.
believe.
Enjoy the padded room. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Well, if they can create Michael Jackson dancing with holograms, they can pretty much create anything.
5-star padded room, supposedly in space. I mean, come on.
Only for the users of Imaginometry.
Oh, and you've got to put this blindfold on as well.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the space station. Any other good picks in here? Oh, that's it. All right. That was a good one, SE. Nice find there. Let's see what else I got. I think I had some more fake NASA stuff. Another tweet I ran into. Let me see what this was.
Oh, they're pumping these out, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're pushing them. Oh yeah, this one right here. Look at this Earth. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's an itty bitty Earth.
Yeah. Tiny indeed.
It must have got a bit further away.
He's saying it in the video, saying it looks amazing from up here. That seems
a bit
awfully curved. I think you guys need to fix your cameras or your templates.
Is that? That's a bit further than 2 millimeters above the beach ball, that isn't it?
I would think so. You're getting a good piece of the curve there.
Yeah.
And where's the glow?
Water.
Where's the Marvel Comics glow? I don't see it. The atmosphere glow.
Where is the 17,500 miles an hour? Looks like they're stationary to me.
Right?
Better question is, where the stars at?
No stars. Just ridiculous stuff. There was some good comments, and if you go in and read these, I mean,
you
people
see that?
really hit these guys up. That's
Brandon,
yeah.
hold on. Oh, wait. Go back to that image.
Hold on. Gosh dang it. Come on, man. This thing's freaking out. Oh, the cat's on the keyboard. All right.
Trolled.
That'll
Tell him
help.
he's doing a better job than you.
There we go. Shit. Now we completely lost it. I got the link though. Sorry about that. Ow! And she just tried to bite me too. Sorry. Holy shit.
She had something she wanted to show you.
Look at the curvature in that top one through the porthole and overlay it over one of the others. You'll find the curve is totally different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no consistency. Yeah, that one compared to this one. Oh, not that one. This one down here. Where'd it go?
It was one of them videos you played.
Yeah. Okay.
It was from Yuri Gagarin, wasn't it? That one, wasn't it?
No, it's the one below. I don't know which. You went into the comments, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we'll go back to it in a minute. But yeah, it's completely different. You can see it. Look at this guy. That's clearly not Earth. The dude's video and your pictures show two different curves. There's more of a curve on the pictures.
There you go.
Yep. So somebody else noticed it. And this person sucks their whatever. And then let's see what this one says. You think this is real because you saw it on your screen? Ha ha ha! I mean, these are normies. The Earth is a tiny, fragile world. It needs to be cherished. This is the one.
Yeah.
Carl Sagan. That's a Carl Sagan quote.
Now, if you could grab a snapshot of that curve and put it over the others, you'll find they're totally different.
Let me do that. I will do that. Let's take
It almost looks like there's like a cardboard cutout around that, so you can't see.
That's what I've been thinking when I see some of these, because you can almost see it's like.
Oh, you can see a green screen edge there.
Yeah.
Around the edge of the window.
Like, that's what I was thinking. It'd be easy to like have something outside or outside the window or part of the window that's like makes it look like this blackness. I don't know.
Yeah.
So wherever you look out, it looks like a curved Earth.
you remember Jaron doing it from his whatever package he got? He opened his curtain at home and there was the globe Earth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's right. Yeah, it's easy. I mean, green screen, you're right. It would be really easy. Super easy. So they can fake it in a lot of ways, I have a feeling. No, I probably lost our spot. That's all right.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I read through these comments. It's worth a look if you go out there and take a look. It's like at least 50% people going, yeah, this is bullshit. So there might be more of us out there than we think. Anyway,
people are waking up.
They'll be deleting them soon, so there won't be that many soon. They'll just be the ones that are back in the NASA.
Oh, for sure.
Composite pictures.
Speaking of misinformation or suppression of information, I came across this regarding that thing that's going on right now. Oh, one second.
Kick the cat.
Now the daughter's knocking stuff over. I got all kinds of crap going on here. There's no vaccine for the infodemic, so how can we combat the virus of misinformation? And the interesting bit of this is, well, it's all interesting. They're talking about how dangerous having any thoughts outside of what the establishment says is. But this I found interesting. So far, we've recruited 110,000 information volunteers, and we equip these information volunteers with the kind of knowledge about how misinformation spreads and ask them to serve as kind of digital first responders in those spaces where misinformation travels. 110,000 information volunteers.
Telling you right there, aren't they? Rumpus is in one of them figures.
Yeah, I've noticed the switch from in the trolls on Twitter. They've switched from the flat Earth trolls to COVID trolls now. Definitely noticed that switch.
I'm not surprised it wasn't 333,000.
Yeah, something like 3 times that.
Yeah.
So, somebody said the other day that they thought that there was a bunch of trolls out there. Any comments are getting attacked viciously. Well, there are. And that's just the 110 volunteers that they're telling about. I'm sure they've got a whole building or two full of ones that they're actually paying to coordinate the 110,000 volunteers. Oh,
We don't believe in all this 33 and 66, though, do we?
What's that?
You know, their coding, their 33 and their 66 coding.
Oh, yeah. Did you see any of that in here?
No, but I'll tell you what you can do. Google the size of a standard block in America.
Size of a standard block.
You know, a block where they call it go round the block, don't they?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, gotcha. Street block, yeah.
Yeah, street block.
All right, let's see what this says. Showing the size for a standard block. Oblong blocks range width and height. The standard block in Manhattan is 264 by 900.
That's meters.
A typical city block is 330 by 660 feet.
Of
course. There's your 33. Huh.
And you're 66.
That's interesting. Yeah. It's always 33 and 66 always seem to show up, that's for sure. There was a couple other things in here that I thought were interesting about what these guys think about anybody sharing any information that doesn't come from them. Misinformation is happening within our friends and families, so we have to find strategies to first of all recognize it, and secondly, as active citizens, just like we wear masks to protect others, we need to be good citizens, the active vector fighting back in our daily lives. As well as promoting media literacy, Little says social media platforms have to ensure they are working for the good of democracy rather than against it. He applauds Twitter for labeling some misleading tweets, but says more is needed and calls for a root and branch audit of the way that information is distributed on all different platforms. There's no easy solution. The business model of the platforms, unfortunately, encourages this spread of kind of outrageous information, but that has to change. So obviously cheerleading for censorship. And I found this interesting. I mean, this sounds like something straight from CCP propaganda.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
Right? I just read it and I'm like, holy crap, that's the Ministry of Information right there. Anyway, so that's that. What else we got going on? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Just go back to that graph that's a little bit up there. I think it's in a six.
Oh, this right here?
676 at the bottom. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta step away for just a minute. You guys keep it going for a minute. I'll just leave it on this graph for now.
You hear me?
Barely.
67600.
There you go. I'll be right back. Keep the conversation going.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought I would see the day where people actually cheer on no more freedom of speech, but they've done nothing but mind control people into that level of thinking now.
This is the Great Reset.
Yep.
And this is
Our
just
lives.
This is just the beginning.
Yep. Our lives will never be the same. Surprising that Russia's not on there.
I think those numbers are highly down as well, aren't they? I mean, I'd say it'd be way higher than that.
Yeah, I was surprised by this too, and I was thinking about myself, how much time I spend on social networks. And I'm like, holy shit, does YouTube count?
Yeah,
In 2020,
Discord count?
Yeah.
Is this in 2020 when nobody went to work?
Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't seem accurate, right? 2 hours? Or maybe they're counting babies and like 90-year-olds too, and that throws it off. I don't know.
Seriously.
1 hour, 41 minutes. That's just listening to Rumpus babble on.
Yeah, he'll eat most of that for sure. Let's see here.
Look at Japan though. Only 46 minutes.
Oh shoot, did I get off of it? Where is it? Japan. How can that be? Come on.
Exactly.
You guys hear about this guy? I'll just tell you about it. This is somebody brought this up the other day. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it might have been Ian. This Pfizer chief science officer. The reason I wanted to point this out was he's saying pandemic is over. Former Pfizer chief science officer says second wave faked on false positive COVID tests. And he's got like a half-hour video out there scrubbed from everywhere. But what I wanted to point out was they took this down and said that he was spreading anti-science misinformation. The former chief science officer. So if he can't have an opinion that goes contrary to the establishment line, who the hell can?
Yep, nobody. It's over. Freedom of speech is gone.
I mean, seriously, how is that acceptable? And he worked for one of the companies that's making the vaccine. I listened to it. He seemed like a straight shooter. He didn't seem like a political operative. You never know what people's motivations are, but it seemed pretty straightforward to me. And if this guy can't come out with his own opinion without it getting scrubbed and him labeled a science denier, I don't know who can. So I'm sure if you showed that video on YouTube or tweeted it or whatever, it gets struck immediately. He said some interesting stuff too, so go out there and look for the video. I did link it the other day. I'm trying to find where it talks about how they censored him. No, I can't find it. But there's a bunch of good facts in this this one too. So I'll pop a link here into Discord and the chat for people who want to take a look at that. Try to find his video. You know, I don't know what are we gonna do when they shut down everywhere? Because now it's YouTube. Now it's Twitter. We're going to move to other places. They're going to come for those places too. So it's going to be like this endless game of us looking for somewhere that we can exercise our freedom of speech.
You're going to do what you're told to do.
God, that's what it feels like it's going towards.
Craziest part is I honestly don't know. I feel like the public would take so much more of this, like that they actually are still at the level of being like, yeah, we should keep censoring this stuff and should do it more and more and more. I don't see it having an end anytime soon. I see it actually getting worse. Like it doesn't look.
Yeah, we're gonna end up like George. We're gonna end up like George Orwell's 1984. So
Yeah.
You know, and if we do find another platform to go to, you know, eventually YouTube or Google or somebody will come for it. The guy will make a
And on
fortune
that
selling
note,
it, and then. Am I roboting?
No, you're good.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, if we do find a new platform, eventually YouTube or Google or someone will offer them millions of dollars to buy it.
Must be you, Brian. I can hear him.
Yeah, jump out and come back in, Brian. It must be good.
Yeah, exactly, Jeremy. So, but you know, they've convinced a good proportion of the public. I don't know how big it is because you can't ever tell those kinds of things based on the false impression we get from the media. But I know my immediate contacts, who I know, not only you guys, but my family, friends, all of them realize what's happening. There's very few of them that are like, no, the media doesn't lie, that toes the line. Very few people that do I actually know in real life who are like that toe the line 100% or even anywhere near it. They all know the media lies. But
yeah,
their messaging is censorship is in your own best interests, and they push it over and over and over again at all levels.
Yeah, I definitely agree that people understand that the media lies, but I don't think they understand the extent. So they will, you know, cheer on censoring people like this because they think, well, that's just helpful, you know. But they just don't put two and two together enough. So I agree.
Everything they've ever told us is a deception.
Every single thing.
Everything.
Yeah.
We're not told the truth.
And then you say that to somebody and they go, you tinfoil hat conspiracy crazy person.
I know, right? If a year or two ago, if you would have told someone there's going to be a pandemic and they're going to shut everything down and close 30% of businesses and write trillions of dollars in blank checks in all the countries to the corporations and the different organizations, and if you would have told them what was happening now, they probably would have called you a conspiracy theorist then.
They did.
Yeah. And here we are sitting in the middle of it, and it's like they are boiling the frog. And if people don't stop doing what they're told 100% of the time, if they keep complying, then it's gonna keep going that way.
Yep.
Now, I don't know exactly what's going to be done, but I know if you think that, oh, well, I'll just do what they tell me and they'll leave me alone, they'll stop censoring us at some point. They won't censor me. Don't believe that, because they're ramping it up. I have a feeling this is going to dark places.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to get to a point where there's going to be a split in the society, where there's going to be the people who are on the side of censorship and government and those who obviously are against it, like us. And I feel like they're going to have to try to do something to us. That way, you know, they silence us, because if we get our word out, people would realize it. So I think there's going to be some type of event that's going to happen to us all.
Who thinks JFK was real?
We'll be labeled as terrorists.
There you go.
And you know, they'll do
Now
what
you're
they
roboting, Jeremy.
have to do.
Does anybody think JFK was real?
You mean, was he shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, as the Warren Commission said?
Yeah.
I don't. Does anybody?
I don't.
I've put a link in the chat to where he was shot in the tunnel coming out of the prison, and there's two different shots. One of them has got a mic hanging down from like the conduit that goes to the electrical lights, and one shot clearly shows it's not there. So it was double took.
Oh, no kidding. Say that one more time. So I'll start the video over, and while it plays, tell us what's happening here, Brian.
Well, I'm not on your stream at the minute. Hold on.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at a blank picture of where they walked him out of the Dallas police station, I take it. And then a picture of when Jack Ruby supposedly shot him.
Yeah, there's a bit of an intro. You could probably skip on from that a little bit.
Okay.
His name's Ed China, wellaware.com, who done the research. Absolutely brilliant researcher.
There's been a few points in my life where I have been completely obsessed with the JFK assassination.
See the microphone shadow on the wall? Is it that side? Yeah, if you just go back a little bit.
Okay.
Stop it there. Wait.
Oh, back up just a second. You talking about this shadow right here on the wall? Or this?
Yeah, there's a microphone shadow, and it's actually hanging from the conduit that goes across to the light, and it puts a shadow on the wall there.
Oh, I see.
And
Up
then-
at the top up there?
And then in another shot, it's not there. And I'll say another shot of the same action.
Oh, there's two versions of the same thing.
Yeah, there's a different angle, but they obviously shot it twice, and one somebody put a mic up on the conduit. It's all just actors. And if he talks you through it, and if you watch them, they look down on the ground for their place to stand. They're looking for their mark. It's as though it's all a stage.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting. Here, I'll pop this link in the YouTube chat too if anybody wants to check it out. Bandsaw Bandit says, when has there been freedom of speech? Wake up. Yeah, that's a good point, Bandsaw Bandit. And I wasn't meaning to sound fatalist or black-pilled there. I'm just trying to get the point across that this is happening, and it's up to us to decide if we're going to go along with what they want us to do. Okay.
Bandsaw lives in a different country, though, so they might not have freedom of speech there. They probably don't.
Yeah, this is a different story down in Australia. He has told me about that. They're ramping things up big time down there, from what I understand, and have for a while. Good point, Bob.
If you watch them as they're setting up, their eyes cast down to look at their mark on the ground that they have to stand at.
Now these are real people that live in that town. You think they were all co-opted to do this, or?
Watch the copper.
Okay.
Mate, this is a lot bigger than we ever realised.
You're talking about the uniform cop. Watch him.
He's just an actor. They're all just actors, or they use a lot of at the music industry.
JFK wasn't even like that was all like a video that was like landing on the moon. JFK's assassination. It was like a staged thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. And there's no shadow now. Shadow's gone. Now that's the wall it was on.
That's the same wall?
That's the same wall, and the shadow's gone. So this is from a different angle, supposedly the same thing, but it's just rubbish.
9/11 wasn't the first time they did a hoax. You know what I mean? Pearl Harbor wasn't the first time they did a hoax. You know, all these the pandemic, right? I'm sure the Black Plague was probably the same thing like COVID.
Oh yeah, I mean, we know the Spanish flu was that type of a thing.
What about the Bay of Tonga? What's it called? The Bay of Tonga or something that took you
Yeah,
into?
yeah, fake boat. Yep.
Yeah,
This is just par for the course.
That was
I
the
think
Vietnam, the
everything was
beginning of the
told.
Vietnam slaughter. Also,
I think you're roboting, Hesse.
I'll drop out.
Okay. Yeah, the Bay of Tonkin, which weirdly enough was started by the admiral who was the father of Jim Morrison, lead singer of the Doors.
There you go.
How crazy.
I know, right? We can discuss that now if you want, Bev. Sly's test.
Yeah, well, did you hear him when he was on Jose's the other day?
No, I missed that.
Oh, right.
So what's going on? What's the saga? We've been following along.
Well, you know, Sly's doing what he does, but he has a test, a water level test, strangely enough, that nobody seems to be bothered about. I mean, they all seem to keep talking about my test or whatever, but I mean, it's just a test that, you know, it's a little private test that, you know, I just talk about it. But like Sly's done a fundraiser. I mean, he did it a few years ago. He got his P1000 paid for, and he showed on Jose's show the other day that he's got all of the equipment. He's got 1,600 meters of tubing. He's got all the connectors and the poles and the flags and the chairs.
This is the one he did before and failed, right?
Yeah, it leaked. It leaked that much that he couldn't find all of the leaks. He didn't know where the leaks were. But I mean, he hasn't bothered coming to talk to us about our test or anything. You know, I've said he should come, but I mean, yeah, I mean, this whoever Doofus Manfred is, I mean, I've heard him around a bit, quite a few places. I mean, he says that Sly's test that he calls the bending water level test. It's claimed there that Sly's test can actually determine Earth's convexity, right? I mean, he's telling me that it can.
He says you do know that his test can actually determine Earth's convexity, right?
That's Sly Sparkane, that's his test. So, I mean, I don't know why they keep going on at me about level being horizontal and what I can prove and all of that. They've got Sly Sparkane that's out there with all of the equipment. I mean, he says he's got an auto level and, you know, water level. He's got the tubes, he's got the pumps, he's got the flags, he's got everything that's needed. I mean, it's all been bought for him. So I don't know why they're all talking about our test. I mean, so we try and show people as much as we can. I mean, I bet a lot of people didn't even know Sly Sparkane had this. It's very, very, very similar to the test that we've got going. Strange that people call me a fraud and a child abuser and all of that for doing this water level test, whereas Sly Sparkane, he's got all the equipment and people don't even know that. Well, some people obviously think that he can actually determine Earth's convexity with a water level, a bending water level test. It'd be nice to find the methodology of it and all of that, wouldn't it?
Of his test? I know it's out there somewhere because he was live streaming his like fundraiser for the test and then the actual results. It's got to be out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to know how he's gonna. I'd like to know how he's going to make his horizontal plane to reference.
What
wrong
he's
about it?
going to do? I think you broke up there, Jeremy. He's got 16 100-meter water levels. So what he's going to do, he's going to fill each of them up with water. He's going to keep them separate because last time when he tried to join them up, he got that many leaks. He couldn't control it. So this time he's just making 16 separate 100-meter water levels, and he's going to put them next to each other with the water level all the way along.
Did Sly calibrate his water level to the apparent horizon or the geometric horizon?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him. I can't remember who it was that calibrated water levels.
So he has some
We did have somebody.
He has some optical thing involved at the end, correct? That's how he's going to determine if it's convex per se, is with an optical measurement looking down it. Is
Camera.
that the difference?
Well, I don't know. A camera, I think. That's what he's doing. I mean, he's going to set 16 water levels up and fill them up with water, obviously, and then get them all to be, obviously, just join the water levels up together over 1,600 meters. That is 1 mile. So, I mean, I don't know. It depends which model he's going with, whether he goes with the Kozlowski nutsack drop, in which case he has to find 8 inches over the full distance, or if he's going with the Kozlowski Bislin hump, he has to find at the middle there is a hump of 2 inches. I don't know how he plans to do that, but I mean that's what is required from his test.
Gotcha. Yeah, it'd be good to see you guys go face to face, Bev.
Yeah,
and discuss it. I'd be happy to set up a one-on-one on here, and then bring other people in. If you and Sly are willing to do it, that'd be good.
I would definitely be willing to do it here, Brandon. Definitely, that'd be great.
Let me see if Sly is willing to do that.
Just, rehash one thing on the level. So before when we were, I had to go and do something. That's why. But we were talking about 2 points and then connecting them with a line, right? So we agreed. That is not for like at anybody. Just so we agreed that the line is. I forget the bowler. He was like, "Well, is it?" And I'm like, "It's straight, right? What more can you describe? Like, if you have a straight line that goes through 2 points, you can't describe it as anything else than a straight line that goes to 2 points. So to ask me if it's level is a strange question, because I'm like, it's a straight line that goes to.
No, not necessarily, because if you have the same length of the line and one part is elevated, then it's not level. So I think that was just his point of contention, with making sure that he was referring to 2 points that have the same elevation with a straight line connecting.
So level.
Yeah, this is what happens.
Level has nothing to do with straight or curved.
This is what happens when
You're roboting again, Jeremy.
Words. This is what happens when you don't want to use words to describe it.
Try again.
So level.
Can you hear me now?
So level.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't want to use words to describe reality. Like, the line can be vertical or it can be horizontal, or it can be at a diagonal. Like, we have these words and we use them so we can describe reality.
Okay, yeah, Jeremy, great. Yeah, I know you do that. Okay, so we're gonna try and move this a little more intellectually than I think Jeremy's capable. So we have straight, right? Now, when you say level, right, it's always going to be. So without some kind of reference, right, like the Earth, you cannot have level. All right, can we start there?
No. Level is just horizontal. It's
okay,
a straight line.
Well, okay, but see now I'm going to have okay. So we draw a straight line. Now, is that line level?
If you put it in the horizontal position, yes.
Oh, but how would you know if it's in the horizontal position?
It's just an extra describer, isn't it, for the line?
Well, but a vertical line is straight, A horizontal line is straight, right?
Yes.
Now, level, which those are both straight lines. Now, if you just saw those lines without a reference, you could not determine level.
Correct.
You could definitely determine a horizontal because you know it. You look at a picture on a wall, you can tell if it's.
But that's
what the reference.
But it's in reference to the wall.
90 degrees.
No, it's not. It's in reference to your understanding.
90 degrees from a horizontal, is it not?
That's your equilibrium. Your balance is all around the same thing.
And now, like, okay, so now you're getting into like orientation.
It's just an equal pressure state. A zero pressure state, an equilibrium. I mean, it's a balance. I mean, it should be known, this sort of thing.
I'm not trying to because like here's the thing, you know how they weasel. They love to weasel this word level into a round, right?
Yeah, but he gave it you on a plate. You said straight, and then he went, that line is level. So he's saying level is straight. I mean, he handed that to you.
Yeah, no, that I had a mute at that point. That's why I didn't really. But to me, I'm like, I always like to think of it in, because we know what they do. They try and find that little crack, and then they just shove their wedge in there. So to have very strict definitions, to be like, look,
he showed you though, right? That was a baller that was telling you a level line was straight. You should have
he's arguing.
You should have gone. Thank you.
That's why I was a little confused too. I was like, okay, he's saying that a level is straight. Sure, we'll go with that assumption.
Because in my head there, I'm going, you don't need the word level, or level and straight are synonymous. You can swap them out.
He was telling you that. He told you that. That's what was going on in his head. He just didn't realize it.
He's committing a little child abuse there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, because once they admit that it's a straight line, then if it's not horizontal, what is it? Is it on a tilt? Which way does it tilt? I mean, what are they talking about?
Once you admit it's horizontal or level, then you can't do any deviation from it, right? Like, because it's in that referenced frame of straight horizontally across, established.
Yeah, I believe it's rock solid. There's no way they can get out of this. The horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon. There's no escape for that. You can't get around.
We might have discussed, bro. You start arguing about like do what I did, and they'll say it themselves. Like I started questioning if it's straight and level, and he's like, no, it's straight. It's straight and level.
Can anybody?
You gotta use the little reverse
explain-
psychology.
Can anybody explain to me why they say you've got drop ahead of you, but if you go 90 degrees, you cannot see it?
It's because it's imaginometry.
It's because you don't see it at all, right? So this is the whole thing. We understand so many things about physics, right? If we break down each of their arguments, it's the great scale negator. So the left to right drop is never seen. So the only observation of what they interpret to be curvature is the x-axis as it goes away from you into the distance, because then you have the effects of the medium, and that's the only thing that, if you didn't have any atmosphere, then you wouldn't have anything to deal with except for perspective. But because we don't have spin, you have to have an explanation that's not real as to why there's no spin, because we don't have this. So because we cannot see left to right curvature, it's not a factor. They don't address it.
But surely anybody with 3 or more brain cells can, work it out for themselves. If the head of you is dropping, then if you go round to 90 degrees from that, you would see the curvature.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to convince us that, Brian. I mean, like we know that once the model is in people's heads, That's it. I mean, like some people, you can't get rid of it.
It's like they drop in and out of reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I was
They
saying
don't-
to him a couple times, I said, listen, we're going to come to this point where we're not going to be able to get past this. And at that point, once you get to that point, because I know what the difference is between our positions and what he's conflating as earth curvature. He's never going to agree with me on how that works. It's never going to happen. That's how he has it in his head. That's how he sees the world. That's how he's built the whole world in his head. There's nothing that I can show that guy that I'm aware of that will knock that out of his head and make him agree with it. And there's nothing that he's going to do to me to make me agree with what he says, in my opinion.
Brandon,
Yeah.
his name needs change.
Yeah. I'll let him know.
Well, I would have to say again that whatever he was trying to do to say that he could adjust the crosshairs, that is a figment of his imagination. You cannot adjust the hairs.
But there's a picture in the live chat somewhere there, a picture of the model of auto level, and it's got crosshair adjustment screws.
Where?
Why don't you understand?
Let's see, in the general chat.
Is
that picture I put in?
Why is that important? The adjusting of the crosshairs in the overall scheme of things. Help me understand that.
I don't know. I was just throwing a slight at Bev.
Well, I mean, if you think about, let's think about the calibration of a rifle, right? So let's say you pay $10,000 for this precision sniper rifle, and they have calibrated everything. You know, there should be a warning that says, "Don't touch this shit. Aim and fire. That's all you do." But what he's saying is, oh no, if you level out your rifle and it doesn't look right, here's some screws that you can mess with the sights. No, I don't think so.
There's no need to calibrate the crosshairs, right?
Yeah.
Like the crosshairs. What do you want them
There
above
is.
center of frame? You're above
There
center
is.
of lens, below
Calibrate
center
it.
of lens?
Someone has to calibrate it. Someone how to calibrate it.
There is a need to calibrate it if you need it to back up your stupid ludicrous belief.
I don't think the crosshairs get calibrated. Like they're just in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
Right?
They're in the
don't-
lens.
No, but if you can move them, you could level
can't.
your auto
You
level.
can't move them. They're on the lens.
Yeah. I'd like to get back to what Travis, you guys were just talking about curve and stuff on the what is it, the X or Y in front of you? Is that X? Okay. You know, like Travis always says, it would take multiple people and go out to a distance, right? And one guy taking the shot with maybe multiple different instruments, and also time, because everything changes with time, right, Travis? You know this. You know, so your guy that's farthest away might disappear at 2 miles, whatever, right? But just give it a couple hours, right? He's gonna come back up. They're gonna call it looming or some fucking bullshit, right? But you know, those are the factors there.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the whole thing. That's what I did with B-Ball for Life. Okay, so B-Ball for Life, in a nutshell, has this stretch of land between him and the observation that he's making, and you cannot see the stretch of land. Okay, it's above water, obviously, but it's a runway, and it's 8 miles away from his observation. Okay, so that means if he can't see land 8 miles away, I should be able to see land 8 miles away from me. But I have land 9 miles away, and I can show it to you. So the whole thing with critical think is, if he takes a lineup, let's say it's 15 meters high and the observation is 30 kilometers. Okay, great. Take a snapshot. Boom. I should be able to set up anywhere where I have 45 meters or 15 meters high and a 35 kilometer observation, and we should have the same effect.
He lives in Hawaii.
Hey, guys,
He was in Hawaii.
there is an
Hawaii's a
adjustment
little
for the
different atmosphere.
crosshairs, man.
There is an
Hold on.
adjustment for the crosshairs, but you can't move them though.
It's a
Just
focus.
Oh, you're really low, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can't hear you very well, Brian.
It's a focus, right, Brian?
I gotta go, but I just wanted to jump in to let y'all know. Yeah, there's a little focus, and it could you could fine tune the crosshairs. We can see them better, especially in the sun and shit. But that's all that is. Nothing to do with moving them. All right, gotta go, guys.
All right, bye, Brian.
Later.
Yeah, well, whoever that baller is that quipped up that said that he was in Hawaii, you're missing the point. Okay, you're missing the point. Listen very carefully. If you have an observation,
there's different. Everything over the water is different.
okay, then it's not fucking curvature.
Why wouldn't it be
Good
curvature?
job,
How do you get
Tony.
from that?
I'm not talking to you.
I know you're a retard. I wouldn't talk to me either.
Tony, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, hey, what's up, man?
What are you trying to say?
That he's a retard?
No.
I mean, I
No,
said it pretty clearly.
without the ad hom, what are you trying to say?
Don't slag people off in
Ad
here.
hom is you guys. You don't know what an ad hom is. First off,
Yeah, it's an
I don't
attack
know,
on the
just saying
man, not
atmosphere
not
is
the
different
argument.
there than it is where he's taking
It's
his
an attack on the
reference from.
man, not the argument.
No, that's not.
You're calling him retarded.
I wasn't attacking the man.
Let's
I was just
address the
stating
argument.
something. I wasn't saying he's wrong because he's an idiot. I'm just saying he's an idiot.
Yeah, that's
Is this
an
the
ad
American
hom.
Olympics?
You're an
Is
idiot.
That's a good argument.
Different. It is. That's what an ad hom is. Anyways, sorry. I just wanted to talk shit, a little bit of crap. But the atmosphere over the water in Hawaii, I'm thinking would be different than the atmosphere over Lake Titicaca or wherever you're at.
So how can you get measurements? If everywhere you go is different, how can you get a feasible measurement?
It's the autolite.
But it's different if you move to somewhere else.
It's pretty much made for that. It's almost made for that.
Or if the conditions change, if it's any of the optical conditions change, you're going to get a different measurement. And then you don't have a
So
measurement.
why did they even invent this theodolite
That's-
if it's a piece of crap and you can
Oh,
never use
That's
it?
why I was asking
I
him
don't
if he
know,
had.
bro. Well, I'm just saying, if you think looking at something that you can see differently on different days is an empirical, one-of-a-kind measurement,
It can't be.
This is why you're retarded, because I never said that. And no one ever said that. No one would say that.
okay. So
Not
then,
you.
if you look at something, if you look at half a
I gotta call
okay,
someone.
if you look at half a lighthouse, are you measuring curve?
I don't know if Tony's going to answer. Tony, you going to answer or you? No.
They can't, can they? They have to do a runner.
I did have a question for you that came up in chat. Bev, do you have a date set for when you're going to do your test, or do you have plans to do it?
What do you mean? Do we have plans to do it?
Your your water
we
level
do.
test that you were
Yeah.
planning a while back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
I've got a question.
When is it going to be done? I mean, I'm not trying to pin you down. I'm just saying, you got solid plans in the future to do it, or is it just
Well,
really hard to do in the winter?
The process of it, right, is that we need to get the equipment for it. I mean, Sly's already shown got this equipment. Now we're not doing it. We don't want to do it by a GoFundMe or anything like that, because we can't see the reason why anyone should have to pay to do level being horizontal. I mean, it's a known fact. I mean, so what we want to do, it's just a personal thing between all of us. So it costs £18.71 for a tube, a 100-meter tube. So we need 16 of them. I mean, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, some, right? But then you need a reel to put them all on, because you can't just carry a load of these tubes around. I've already got the level, like I've just put in the general chat there. You can see we've got a level, and we've sorted out an equipment thing so you can get a camera on it, so you guys can see what we do when we do this. And we film all of this live on Discord. I mean, we have done quite a few times. So what we do is we get a water level and we establish it a level on the water level, and that obviously establishes a horizontal water, a horizontal level. But in order to check it, we put an auto level in the middle, and it's strangely enough, it's the same level at one end as it is on the other because you can spin it round. So all you're doing is using an auto level to check a water level, just like Sly did with his 100 meters, and there's no drop of the level, right? So the level in the center, in the auto level, if you imagine, it establishes a horizontal plane. And if you can put the water level at one end on the crosshair and then turn the auto level all the way round and then look 50 meters in the opposite direction, and that water level is on the crosshair, that means that where the level is situated in the middle is on the same horizontal as both ends of the water level. Right, that makes sense, right? Then if you can move the auto level into the middle of another tube of 100 meters and do exactly the same every time you do that, then you've just established that all of the lines are horizontal all the way across it. I mean, that's basically it. So as this test develops and gets longer, I mean, have you ever heard of anybody ever use a water level, a practical water level as a tool to establish a horizontal and checked it over, say, 100 meters? Do you know anyone that's done that?
I don't think 100 meters, no.
So I'm the record holder then for the longest water level that's been checked as a horizontal. Now,
the companies don't check these. You would think like before they put a tube, they would test these things.
It's just a tube, isn't it? I mean, filled with water. I mean, it goes without saying that it'll establish a horizontal. But I mean, I have actually done this. We did it live on the Discord. We didn't put it out live, right, onto YouTube. But I mean, within the Discord server, we all have the ability to share our cameras. So my lad has his camera on, and he's on the level. So they've got the camera on the level. That's going. We've got my lad with his camera, his thing going, and we're in the Discord. So we're talking to each other. We've all got our cameras running. So everyone can see everything that's going on and the procedure that's going on and everything that's happening. So
Bev, I think
go on.
I think the hand was asking, don't they check the auto levels against the water level before they sell it?
No, they just calibrate it on a calibrating bed, like we were talking about with a Critical Think earlier.
All right, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So all we're saying is, if we do that and I do it with the water level, and then connect another 100 meters to it, then that would be 200 meter water level. And once again, I'd be winning for the longest water level. And we could check it again at 200 meters. And then maybe next month or the month after, or, whenever we fill the next one, and then I'd do 300 meters. And then let's say I've got one with 400 meters and somebody else is wanting to compete. And they do theirs with 400 meters. But we use it in order to check the auto level, right? Because that's the way I'm looking at it, is this water level is a way for us checking that we're doing the auto leveling procedure correctly. It's just, we're thinking of making it a bit of a fun sport, right? Where you start off at one point and you do your auto leveling, sort of speed versus accuracy, to see how far you could auto level, establish a horizontal plane, and loop it back again to close your loop, and check with it. So you could be timed, and you could be checked for accuracy at the end, but to see how close you are to the original water level. I mean, it's a bit of a fun sport just for us to check it. But I mean, like, there's no rush, because it's just a group of people just establishing and having fun doing something that,
Hey, Bev, so the bowlers
or the other thing. They're curving the level because of the plumb lines, right? Is that their thing?
Well, I don't know. I think they're curving the level because of a model, and a consequence of that curvature thing requires them to not have plumb lines parallel.
In their
Okay,
fantasy,
so the I'm trying to figure the bad plumb lines come after because like again I've
Yeah,
always
see,
like kind of
the bad plumb lines are a
argument.
consequent of.
Okay,
in
so
their
then
fantasy, the
so
plumb balls,
the
the plumb
stars.
lines go around the ball, bro. They hang them around the
So they start
radius,
with the ball.
and they all point inwards in their fantasy. That's straight.
Well, because like if you try to leveling a line, you can understand that, right? Like, so I draw a straight line, right? Now it's on a diagonal. Okay, the line is straight on a diagonal. You can be like, no, you got to lower that one side to level it off. Lower the one side to level it off. Okay.
Even altitude.
But now we have now we have we have an arch. Okay, we have the golden arch. How do I level that? What would be the procedure?
You can't.
It happens automatically. Gravity does it.
So
on its own.
it's already leveled. You know, I don't get it. I don't
You
get
simply
what you're
can't.
You can't
Just
level
imagine,
that.
all you have to do to get it is just imagine you live on a ball, and when you go out straight, it automatically curves on its own, magically. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, here's the trick, and I mean, you'll hear them say it all the time. It acts perpendicular to down, I think they say. Is that how they say it? They don't like using the G word anymore.
No, they don't say that.
No,
they say
no.
it points to the center of the geoid.
No. They say vertical, or the plumb bob is perpendicular to down, or level is perpendicular to down.
And where is down?
Well,
what do they say?
Yeah, but down is just vertical, right? But the point is that when they say perpendicular, they're meaning an angle to a curve.
Exactly.
Which defies the very axioms of Euclidean geometry, as in all right angles are equal. Because if you have a curved line curving downwards and a straight line coming to it, then the right angles that are underneath will be smaller than the right angles on the top. And you can't have an angle to a curve anyway. So there is a fundamental flaw within the geometry of their understanding of what, even the words that they use all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a mechanical one because they cannot level anything. Like if you gave them a line, right? Let's say you gave them a straight line and you had their Earth and you said, level that straight line to Earth in their model. They couldn't do it. You could do it you could put that line on the side, on the bottom, on the top. It would all be level, right? No matter which way you oriented that, take a ball, right? That's their level. Now put a straight line, not through it, just on top or on the bottom. They'll say that line is level to the ball. That's how they would do it. But you could put it in any orientation and it would be level. So you can't.
That's how they do it, bro. That's how they envision it in their head.
It's not mechanical. You can't use it. I can't use their level to do anything. It's useless, right?
In their brain, I could be here, you could be in China, whatever, and we're both straight. Both our heads are up.
Yeah, what they do is
you're on the bottom of the ball, but both our heads are up.
No, they can't level anything. This is crazy.
You'll hear them say this loads, right? Tangent. The very moment they mention tangent, what they mean is a level line. That line that you said, that straight line that they imagine all the way around, is horizontal. That's what they imagine as a horizontal in every position all the way round a ball, which is, to me, is just ridiculous. You cannot equate a tangent to a horizontal. You'd have to be it's just crazy, the thought of it.
It's easy for them, bro. Just the way open is closed, Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's closed. It's the same exact way. It's easy for them.
Yep.
They just have to picture it in their brain.
Yeah, they've never, obviously, never handled this practically. Because if you do, you would know that it's an elevation. It doesn't matter what shape is underneath this thing. A level, a water level, a horizontal. It doesn't care what's underneath it. So for them to assume it's a tangent which is reliant on a circle underneath it.
They're
is
basically
ridiculous.
saying, I believe Earth is a ball, right? When they like, you can cut out all the like, they're not talking in any geometric capacities or anything, right? This entire thing is, I believe Earth is a ball. So if you have,
Exactly.
okay, I have a straight line, and they'll be like, well, yeah, but Earth is a ball, so the straight line goes off, and you're like, whoa, bro, we're not even bringing up the Earth, but they have to bring up the Earth as a ball in all of these things.
That's the
It's
base
required.
assumption. That's the base assumption that it all relies on. That's what I was trying to get to with critical think. And I want to explain myself a little bit here, what I was talking about, just in case some people didn't understand. If you look at my screen, I should be sharing still. You should see a crosshair. So this is kind of like what critical think showed us, where he's looking out and he's seen the crosshair above the horizon, and
I've only got the tweet there, Brandon.
All right, hold on. Let me change windows here. All right, you should see it now.
Yeah.
All right, so he's looking out, he's seeing the crosshair, and he is asserting that a line drawn from that crosshair out over that horizon will be straight. If he actually created a physical pole and went out in space straight from where this X is out to wherever this imaginary place is on the horizon, let's just say it's 36 kilometers away, like he said, he would not see it dip down the horizon. So how he sees this working is, and he said this, when you're looking down, this guy's looking down the crosshair, and he's drawing an imaginary line in his mind that goes out and is above the horizon, right? That's what that reticle does. It is not physical. It's just an overlay, a 2D overlay on a perspective view. A plane above you will start off above you, and it will go down to the vanishing point, which is the horizon. And something beneath you, say a train, wouldn't be this far beneath you, but you get the point, would come up in your vision to the vanishing point at the horizon. But this line would always stay above it because you would never see it curve down to the horizon. Now just look at that. Look at how ridiculous that is. What would be so special about this physical thing just because you're looking down it that you would not perceive that to lower towards the vanishing point? If I built that line out there in a physical way, 36 kilometers, his contention is that you would not see it go down there. And because it doesn't, then he says that is because the Earth is curving. That imaginary line, that 2D overlay, doesn't show up down here when he looks through it. So that means it's so much above the Earth, and that's what he's calculating. That's how you calculate the ball. This is the base assumption that is different.
Well, we have to ask ourselves the question, does everything converge at the level of the eyes like it does when you're looking down a hallway? And or if there a hump of Earth curvature in the way? Because most of the time by perspective, we say stuff that's above the level of the eyes converges down and stuff below converges up. So logically, that would lead one to assume that things sandwich at the level of the eyes. They're saying that whatever is presented by this optical theodolite level whatever is more accurate than this rule. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
I never understood why they say, oh, if the Earth was flat, things don't rise to eye level, therefore the Earth isn't flat. I'm like, if you had a horizontal plane, right, which is the floor, take the floor as a horizontal plane. Now take a 6-foot observer, right? Now take his lines, his eyesight straight out as a horizontal plane. They'll never meet.
Exactly.
It'll never
exactly.
So now it's, So now we get into, okay, well, now you picture this. How do you see this little mountain? Picture if there was a mountain, it would be like a dot, right? Like on the floor. Could you see a dot on the floor if it was right in front of you? No. That's how these things disappear, because it's just they're getting smaller on that same horizontal, and then you would be kind of looking over them.
Yeah, it'd be like this is one of those Greek things out here. It would be like 36 kilometers. It'd be like here because it got smaller with perspective, because that's just how vision works. And he would say, "Oh no, the reticle crosshair is at the ceiling. That ceiling is 30 feet tall. I'm only 6 feet. So if the Earth were flat, that would hit at 6 feet. So there's 24 feet of curvature of drop from me to there." And it's a predictable thing because angular size is a predictable thing as it gets in the distance. There is some variation and some distortion, but for the most part, it's predictable. So they transform that predictability into a curve.
If you had a long, flat plane, right? Like this is a flat something, perfectly flat, and you had an object and you sent it out into the distance, right? And you just stood and watched it. It would do the same thing every time. Like it would look the same way. You know what I mean? So now that's their standard refraction, quote unquote. Then you put into like it gets foggy and you can't see it. Okay, but if it just does one thing and you model that one thing, even if it's a flat plane, there's your predictions. All right.
Hey, can I ask? Can I just ask a question real quick? I just had an idea, and if it doesn't make sense, that's fine. What if you had a auto level, right? You got it 6 foot, you got it all lined up the way it's supposed to, and you put a drone out 20 feet ahead of you at that auto level, and then you flew that drone away from you at a certain distance, but because you've got GPS and you've got the precision the drone keeps elevation the whole time. That drone's going to drop.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
but it's still the same. It's still the same 6 feet off the ground.
Absolutely. That's the base assumption that is different. Where did that go here? I had some information about vanishing points. So vanishing.
I got a little concern.
Let me read these and then we'll go to you, Jose. So vanishing points. There's always a vanishing point that all objects vanish into. It doesn't matter. Perspective and vanishing point apply to all optical observation. The distance depends on the size, brightness, and height. Objects above the lower atmosphere are visible the longest, since they are less affected by turbidity, yada yada. Everything has a vanishing point. That's the bottom line, though. You look at this picture, if these buildings went on, everything would go into the vanishing point, period. And you can calculate that with a curve. And if you calculate that out, because I've done it, if you graph that out, if you take the different measurements and distances, it will form a curve. And that's how they fake the curve. They take that calculation and they apply it to a curve and say you're standing on the curve looking out into infinite space that isn't affected by perspective, and you're looking in all the directions. Say when you look at Polaris.
Couldn't you plot it as a decline too?
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe. I think
Jose
so.
had a point.
Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, I don't. Just like maybe a minute or two. A question for Beb. A concern that I have, because I heard about this test for months now, since I known Beb, maybe a few months, maybe about a year roughly. But I think you did some kind of a small test run for a camera, little preview. But you haven't done this test. You haven't been on the field, even though you have the tools. Is your test involve anything physical and being on the field and using the tools and the devices that you have, or is it just talking to people and it's just words? Is my concern. Are you ever going to do the test?
Well, we've been out on the canal, right? With the water level and the auto level, testing it, testing the procedure that we're doing and all of that. you saw Sly's equipment. So he's actually got all of the equipment. He's had that. How long's he had it, Jose?
A long time, maybe longer than you, or maybe a little less, because maybe he
Right, so
bought it
he's
just to kind of
actually
cover you.
got the equipment, and he's not done it. Do you want go
He
on
attempted.
the shows that he goes on, asking him whether he's
Yeah,
doing his test?
he attempted to do it. He attempted to do it. He failed.
Yeah,
but
he
have you
failed it
attempted
badly,
to do
didn't it?
Have
Leaks
you
everywhere.
attempted it? Have you attempted? That's the question. Like, be honest. Have you attempted it?
No, I haven't got 16 100 meters of tubing yet. No, like
So
Sly,
for now,
Sly
it's a lot
has.
of words, but nothing substance, no substance yet. It's just
Yes,
you just
yes,
talk
Jose.
the talk,
Jose,
but no
if you want to know, yes, we have been out on the canal with a 100 meter water level. We have checked it, and yes, for your information, it is horizontal. Now, we can go out again, and we will be going out again and doing much more testing.
I hope so,
We
because you
have
keep talking about it and you haven't done
developed yes, we have. We've developed a pressure test now as well, which is
You
very,
developed
very, very interesting.
on a whiteboard, on a blackboard, and a lot of words.
No,
You developed
no,
this.
with a water level and
relax, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
and
chilling,
tools,
man. I'm
pressure testing
having
tools.
fun in here. You know, this is not to get triggered and not to. When you say relax, you're projecting. So don't tell me that.
Okay, so you know, the other day when you did that setup and you said, well, you know what you said about the fraud and the slander and all of that.
Oh, I did. Yeah, but I'm talking about if you ever gonna go out to do the test, or you just gonna keep talking about it and letting it on other people to do it for you.
Okay.
Why do you care
the
so
test
much?
will be getting done. Yes.
Why are you so
Well,
worried about
because
whether he's going to do it?
No,
do it or
just
not?
curious.
Okay.
I'm curious because he kept mentioning a test. It's like NASA selling false dreams about moon missions. Baby's selling a false dream about doing
What?
a test. He
So,
never done it.
well, just a minute. How much have you bought of this, Jose?
Zero, and I will never.
Right, so you're like everybody else then. You've put zero money into it, but you seem to be very keen on me doing it.
Because you keep saying you're gonna do it. That's why.
Oh well, Slice actually took money off people and actually has the equipment.
And he went out and he got a big project and attempted it. Yeah.
But he failed. He didn't do anything.
Whether he failed or not, he went out and he used the equipment.
Well, we've been out and we've tested it, and so far it is working perfectly. Zero leaks. Now we will be going out and testing more, because when
Just
we
like
test
NASA.
it,
Good
we
night, everybody.
want it to. Well, no, we will show you. We do it live, Jose.
But you keep saying this. Just like NASA keeps saying
We
we're gonna do this,
yeah, but we keep doing it as well, Jose. We
You
keep
was that NASA because
doing
you're down to earth.
it.
I thought you were down to earth and you were hands on, but
Yeah, we
a lot of
are.
words.
We
But thanks,
are,
everybody.
Jose.
Thank
What
you,
is
Brandon.
it?
Thank you, guys.
What is Jose? What is it you're saying?
He's gone.
We are not doing.
He's gone. He just came in to trigger you.
Oh. Well, it's not triggering me, but I mean, like,
No, I didn't say he was.
it
but
gives
that's
us
what
a
he
chance
wanted
to
do.
show everyone, right, that we are doing tests with all of our own accord, all of our own money, all of our own equipment. We're doing this ourselves. That's the way we wanted to do it. Now, I don't see why I should be pushed at a guy that likes to slander people and admittedly likes to slander people for entertainment purposes. I mean, you've just watched him come in here to try and do something. I don't know what, but I mean, it would be for entertainment purposes. Probably because he's been asked to do so by Slice Barcane or one of the people like that.
He's a self-admitted troll.
Yeah. Yeah, he came into on the level UK the other day and admitted that he slanders people on YouTube for entertainment purposes, and he doesn't consider anybody on YouTube as a real person. Everybody's just a character that you can slander and libel for entertainment and views. Yeah, he did that.
That's not how I feel. That's
well.
Huh.
That's why we're over here, Brandon, not over there.
Oh, good. I appreciate that. Well, we're past time. Does anybody have anything else before we close up shop and go to final thoughts?
Well, I think amplification with a glow blocking what's beyond as opposed to angular resolution, sandwiching everything at the level of the eye observer. I think confusion comes when you have the convergence point of the space above the surface versus the convergence points on the surface, the flat surface, that's below the level of the eyes. These things tend to merge with a whole lot of distance over, a very long, infinite-like flat plane, but really, in actuality, it's separate because the space above the surface is going to naturally be separate, and so there's going to be some separation with.
Yeah, good.
Hey, can I
good
go next,
point.
Brandon?
There's
'Cause
definitely
can I go next with
there's
final thoughts,
definitely a
buddy?
separation point, Lemon. Yeah, why don't you start off with? I mean, and distance makes a huge difference. I agree with that. Yeah, whoever that was, you can be the first one to go. Final thoughts. Go ahead.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to say it like this. Oh my God, two things. First thing, I got kicked off. Jose Sly interrupted me every time I went to talk, pretty much, and I'm the one who gets kicked. But yeah, good thing Sly's not a plumber because 1/3 of his conjunctions leaked. I mean, are you fucking kidding me, dude? That's not places we fail on these tests. But anyway, he number two is the way I would describe like the zoom and in the distance. We know that we know that zoom doesn't let us see further. It brings the image we're already seeing, it brings it into focus. So you zoom in, it spreads out the angular resolution, right? So if you had two lights close to each other, they would you zoom in and they'd look like one at a certain distance, but then you zoom in, you spread them apart. And that's what their argument is. But you can't spread the ground down. So I don't know if anybody's worded it like that, but I was just thinking about it, and that's an interesting way to word it. You could zoom in and spread and widen the angle to everything, but you can't spread the ground down any further. So that's why we lose things bottom up on a flat plane. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Brian Mavitt.
Yeah, great show, mate. And we had a few laughs and giggles along the way, which is really nice. Final thoughts. This truth has got to come out. And the problem for me, images are so dependent on conditions. I think we have to dismiss all of them and go for a measurement. Just as Bev says, you need a physical measurement to prove this. So, yeah, great show. Good night, all.
Thanks, Brian. Travis.
Yeah, it's all been said. Great show, Brandon.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Travis. Expose Antarctica. Global virus foe.
Yeah, I agree. It was just a great show. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Jeremy.
Good show. That guy's picture in the beginning was nonsense. There's so many problems with it. It was ridiculous. That's all. Have a good night.
You too, man. Jimbo.
Good show. Keep on trucking. Keep on producing. It's going great.
Thanks, Jimbo. Jose.
The people I slandered in MIUK server was Fight the Flat Earth, Seek Truth, Speak Truth, Team Skeptic, and their team. Boom!
Thanks, Jose. Kitty Not So Soft Paws. Name change.
Good show.
Thanks, man. Kitty Soft Paws.
That's all good. Good show.
Thanks, man. Naps.
We're a couple.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nap Snaps. Patient Zero.
As far as I know, you never calibrate a Stadia on a device that you've bought, right? It's already been pre-calibrated, but there is a focus knob on there, right? You can adjust that, but the Stadia does not move up or down when you adjust that knob. It kind of goes in and out of focus, but not up or down. And it's already been pre-calibrated to certain specs. If you ever drop the instrument, you do send it back to the manufacturer or local manufacturer to have it recalibrated. So, thanks, Brandon. Good show.
Thanks, Aaron. Lemon.
Stop trusting questionable lenses. The lens is curved. The atmosphere is the lens. You have vanishing points that are merging that need to be spaced apart by walking up to the thing and seeing how far apart these objects actually are. Test this stuff with a laser. Test this stuff with an actual physical operation to verify what these deceptive lenses are bringing to your eyes.
Thanks, Lemon. Dave, Rakia.
Thanks, Brandon. Good show.
Thanks, man. Rob. Essie.
Yeah, good show, bro.
Thanks, Essie.
A crowd funding. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Anyways, okay, I'm in the car. Good show, bro.
He said, all right. Essie says he's in the car. Thanks, man. Bob Dole. Right the hand.
Yeah, I think it's important to say that, well, yeah, good show. Thanks for having everyone on. It's important to say that level is something that you do to a line, right? Like you level a line. You don't just, so you can't have a curved thing and then level a line to that. It wouldn't work. Where would you start leveling? Where would you stop? It would just keep spinning around and around. So to level something is a verb. Level is not so much a noun or a thing.
All right. Thanks, right there. Bandsaw.
Yeah, good show, buddy. Good show.
Thanks, Bandsaw. Bev.
Yeah, good show. Good show. Yeah. Obviously, there's things going on at the minute in the background that people are getting triggered by things. I don't know what's going on. We've noticed it over the last week. Some strange things happening.
Well, that's weird. I'll try to set something up between you and Sly. See if Sly's interested.
Sweet. Yeah.
Cool.
Anytime.
All right, cool. I'll see if I can get that going. And good show to you guys. Thank you. You guys are what makes the show good, so I appreciate it. That was an interesting discussion with Critical Think. I look forward to seeing his rebuttal to the questions that he didn't really have an answer to during the show. I think it comes down to a fundamental difference of how we understand perspective and our base assumptions, which is his base assumption. He starts off with thinking that we live on a giant ball, which I have a problem with. So anyway, we will see you guys on Monday. I'll be releasing the overtimes. What do I call them again? After shows on tomorrow and Sunday. And there's quite a lot of good stuff in there, so you can check those out. I'm going to keep them on my channel, my other channel for now. But I might move them back over to here just so they're all in one place. We'll see.
And I would just rename them to overtimes. I like that.
You like overtime better?
Yeah, overtime.
You know, everybody does after.
Hell yeah.
You know, and it's like it's a bonus.
Exactly.
All right.
Everybody loves overtime, don't you? Right?
Overtime, it makes football games more interesting. Yeah. I'll go overtime. So the overtime shows will be on
time and a
this
half.
weekend.
Time and a half.
Yep. All right. I'll be back, and then I'll be recording overtime after I get back. All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the show. Have a happy Friday night. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you back here on Monday next week. We've got, what's his name? Flat Earth Fokker is coming on Tuesday, I believe. And he's going to tell us about his whole getting arrested and that kind of stuff and see what he's been up to in relation to Flat Earth. And then my debate with Mr. Sensible was postponed. It was supposed to be today. So it'll be sometime next week, still arranging a day with him. And I'll simulcast that here. So you guys can all watch it, and that should be interesting. More Horizon talk for sure. 100% sure. We'll see how that goes. But thanks again. Thanks for supporting the show, and we will see you guys on Monday. Bye.